Hello, people. We are live here at Grange TV. We will be changing the name probably by next week. I'm going to leave that. No, sorry. We are live, people. Hello and welcome. We will probably be, not probably, we will be changing the name by next week. I'll leave that as a surprise when we do change the name of the podcast. But if you haven't already, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get all notifications. The main card was meant to start at 9 a.m., but I think we're running a little bit late here. I just watched the Ili Latifi fight there. That was a very interesting fight. Some big shots. I don't even know how those guys didn't drop. The big hitters, you know. Sasank says, greetings from Toronto. Greetings, Sasank. Juice says, let's go. And I say, let's go. Sasank says, it's a moonshine. It is. This one's moonshine here. Nice jar of moonshine for a Sunday morning. And this is some kombucha. So yes, interesting night of fights tonight. I'm actually interested in a few of these middleweights that are coming up because, like I've said before, I think the middleweight division probably needs a bit of new blood to come through. And yeah, I'm kind of waiting to see that, but I don't see anyone breaking through at middleweight that's going to challenge that upper echelon. In particular, I don't see anyone beating Rob and Israel. Tom Breeze, I think, was someone that is a very, very interesting fighter. He's someone that had a lot of potential. Then he was plagued with knee injuries, and he's never really been able to regather the form that he could have had, I think. Sasank says, nice clear jar of moonshine to start off the main card. Yes, sir. Leonard, is that you? Is that actually you? Hey, man, I've seen you did an interview with Overeem a while ago. I'm a big Alistair Overeem fan. Do you know what his plans are for the future regarding fighting? I don't know, but I hope he doesn't fight anymore, man. He's made enough money. He's not a young guy anymore and has taken some big shots. He's got a massive career. I hope he goes off into the sunset and plays with his kids. Mark Whelan says, let's do this from a fellow Aussie. Let's do it, Mark. Thank you. Juice, who won the Latifi fight? Latifi. Sasank says that fight has been cancelled, by the way. Awesome. Because, man, I was thinking, what the fuck? I'm going to be here all day. This hasn't started. Brees and Arroyo are cancelled. Oh. I'm devastated. Well, I was looking for the Tom Brees fight. Tom Brees was, like I said, someone that had a lot of potential coming up into that middleweight and when he was at welterweight as well. Does anyone know why it was cancelled? Why exactly it was cancelled? So yeah, my stream has frozen. Ahmed says, Yalos, assalamu alaikum. Alaikum salam, Ahmed. Sasank says, medical issues. Leonard says, Alistair 2008, 2011 was the most unstoppable fighter I have seen. But I agree with you. He has nothing left to prove. Man, that fighter, Alistair Overeem, 2008, 2011, I was in Japan. I saw him before he fought in K1, and he looked like a fucking comic book hero, man. It didn't even look normal. It was like he didn't look like a human being. He looked like a freak of nature. He was like gigantic, muscles on muscles on muscles. I've never seen anything like that. Sasank says, how do these heavyweights throw roundhouse kicks to the head that easily? Mate, they would have to practice it. And they're very good athletes too. They're very, very, very good athletes. Someone like Latifi is extremely flexible, extremely strong, and a very, very good athlete. He wrestled at a very high level, before that. So you're able to transfer that ability. My live stream is not kicking off, so I just got to see what's going on here and why that's the case. Sasank says they have insane mobility. Yeah, in particular, guys like that. Mark Whelan says, do I think Vettori can upset Izzy? Look, I think Israel will beat him. I do think that. I think Israel is a little bit too long, a little bit too good with his stand up, and he's got a good range. Like he understands range and he understands how to frame and move off way before people are able to get him down to the ground. It's not easy to get Israel down to the ground. Having said that, as of late, Marvin has shown, but it's not a good indicator, the Kevin Holland fight, because Kevin Holland is very susceptible to being taken down. That's not anything new. So, um, but what Marvin has shown is that he will just go for the takedowns, and he'll back himself to do the takedown, and he'll back himself to do the work on the ground once he's on the ground, uh, as was seen in the Hermanson fight, as was seen in the Holland fight, even with the first fight against Israel. He wasn't he was able to stand there, fight him, and get him to the ground in the later stages of the fight. This is a 5-round fight. He might be able to do this. I don't know. I don't want to go against Vittori because every time I've picked against him, he's won. So I don't know. I have to favor Israel though. I would have to. But then I also see, like, I don't see how Vittori would beat someone like Rob. I don't see that. Like, I think Rob's a faster, stronger version of him. Um but Vittori is also a guy. I like him a lot. I like him a lot. That to me, he's the kind of guy that he's got certain things that he does well, and he really backs himself to do it. Um, I don't see him offering a lot for Israel on the feet, to be honest with you. He doesn't seem to have big one-stop power in his shots. Having said that, he's a big guy, and if he lands it on you, he's going to hurt you. But his wrestling and his grappling has improved, and it also has impressed me. So yeah. And Joseph says, "Coach, what's up? How's everything?" Leonard says, "Any prediction for the Mayweather fight? You think Logan has any chance at all?" Not in a real fight, like it's an exhibition or whatever it's going to be. But no, Mayweather will do what he wants, unless if Logan lands something and knocks him out, good for him. But no, Mayweather's on a different planet, dude. Joseph, great game last night, man. Was it since the last time I've seen the show? Seems different last night. Yeah, it was a good game, man. Well done, Leonard. Well done. I'll be back in a second, guys, just before the fight. um, Joseph, coach, is that a new set of glasses? How long was it since the last time I've seen the show? Seems different. Hey, it's well, we had that thing where somebody deleted it and now we're back on. So I don't know how long that's been, Joseph, for you, a few weeks. But yeah, I got new glasses, and these ones, they bend like this a little more. So it's kind of not baby proof, but it helps that it makes it a little bit harder for my crazy ass daughter to break my glasses. Um, Ahmed says, thoughts on Paulo Costa pulling out against Cannonier because, according to him, he isn't getting paid enough by the UFC. Good for him. Yeah, honestly, fucking good for him. I think that for fighters to get paid more, that's what fighters have to do. They have to start, but they have to do it as a collective and they have to be organized. Um, but yeah, look, if he feels he's not getting paid enough, good for him. I don't know the ins and outs of it. I don't know what's actually true, what's not, or whatever. You wouldn't do a job if you weren't going to get paid enough. You know what I mean? Like, people see that guy in the background. I'm pretty sure it's Pamplona. Big fan of his. Montana De La Rosa. I've seen that guy fight live in Brazil. He's a fucking maniac. say that in the nicest possible way. Juice says Mavs will take game 7. Leonard says, thanks, man. I got tall for game 7. Don't worry. I think Mavericks will win. I'm going for the Mavericks. Joseph says, good, I got money on the Clippers. Better tell PG to step up. I'm going for the Mavericks, actually. I'm a Luka Doncic fan. All right, so we're off. De La Rosa in the black, Lipski in the white. Both girls in the orthodox stance. Lipski goes looking, De La Rosa went looking up high with a kick. Very measured approach in particular by De La Rosa. Lipski seems to be the more aggressor. She's controlling the center of the octagon, moving forward, sitting behind a jab, throwing the right hand. Big right hand and a left hook landed by Lipski. Nice work. Lipski's got some sharp hands. I like those hands on Lipski. Nice. So De La Rosa came in with an overhand right and Lipski stepped back and hit her with a little uppercut. That's pretty high-level boxing, man. Good for her. Nice work by Lipski. De La Rosa's got a bit of range on her, though. Especially, so she's kind of staying just outside of Lipski's range. Interesting. Ahmed says, with all honesty, MMA fighters deserve the boxing paydays. Yeah, I mean, yes. Leonard says, if they don't step up, I'm leaving this damn place. Mark Whelan, even though I don't like Jake Paul, I think he's spot on when he said Dana should pay his fighters more for what they do and risks they take. 1,000%, 1,000,000%. But it's also the fighters too, man, because the fighters will fight for whatever they get paid. And if one guy doesn't fight, so say, for example, a guy doesn't fight for 300 grand, somebody will call him a pussy. One of the fighters will call him a pussy and then fight for 100. So, you know what I mean? Like, how's that going to work? So of course Dana White's going to pay the dude 100 grand instead of 300. Lipski controlling the center still. There's some big exchanges here, but Lipski's got the crisper punches. She goes low and then goes looking for an overhand right at the top. I like the combinations. I like how she's doing this. This is a very important thing. See what she's doing here? She's feinting, but she's also level. Oh, nice right hand attempt by Lipski. De La Rosa's looking for the takedown. She's going to get it. She got it. What I like with Lipski when she was standing up there and she was boxing was dropping her level. She's feinting, but she's dropping her level as well. And that makes your opponent have to start dropping their level with you, in particular in MMA. So here, De La Rosa she's squared her off and she's got the far side underhook. And so she's looking to pass. She's got the shoulder pressure here. Good job of framing by Lipski. She needs to get that left arm inside. What De La Rosa's doing is smart too, because she's passing to this side. She's passing to the right side, which is not the side that most people pass to. So no matter even if you're left-handed or right-handed, it doesn't matter. Most people in the gym that you train against everything pass to the other side. So passing on this side is very good. Lipski did a great job. She's got the guard back. Great job. Matt Bradbury, do you think technical decisions should be used more instead of no contests? Ooh, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know exactly why the I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to look into that, just like, you know what I mean, just into that one. I think technical decisions will probably see a whole bunch of gamesmanship. I think a whole bigger bunch of gamesmanship from fighters. If they're ahead or whatnot, that's probably what I think. Joseph, coach, have you heard the news about Gordon Ryan retiring? Sad day, and he's only 25. I heard that, but why is that he's retiring? Is he going into MMA? Is he going to do something else? Because he's pretty much won everything he's going to win in jiu-jitsu. Lipski has a small cut above her eyebrow. 38 seconds to go. Good job by De La Rosa as well in recognizing that, because the hands were pretty sharp on Lipski, man. Pretty sharp. But Lipski's also elbowing from the bottom as well. She's shown a good guard. She was able to get her guard back. Now she's looking to get her feet on the hips to be able to push away. I'm impressed with Lipski. I'm really impressed. Oh, she went looking for an armbar. It's not there. She's not going to get this armbar. But she's attacking from the bottom. She's got the guard closed and she's holding the posture. She's a pretty smart girl, Lipski. Oh, big shot landed by De La Rosa. I like that work. This is a good girls' fight, man. 2-1. Time. Nice. Nice. This is a good women's fight. Leonard says, do you have a particular favorite fighter in MMA and boxing and basketball currently? If so, which one? No one that does all three, but I like Luka. I like Luka Doncic. I like you. You're a great player as well. Favorite boxer. I don't. There's a few. There's a lot of good boxers. I've always liked Danny Swift Garcia. I've always liked him. And in MMA, I don't have particular favorites in anything. In MMA, I liked in the current crop of fighters. I've always enjoyed watching Demetrius Johnson. I like and Peter Yan. I really like watching Peter Yan fight. Yeah, there's a few, but I don't have any one guy in particular. You know, Matt Bradbury says, "Is Leon Edwards the UK's greatest chance for a champ right now?" I don't know. I don't know. Touching gloves, but they didn't touch gloves. Oh, Lipski with a big combination. I love the hands on her, man. Nice. She went looking for an uppercut as De La Rosa changed levels. De La Rosa, I love this matchup, man. I love that De La Rosa goes for those takedowns, and I love that Lipski's got those hands, man. I really, really like it. Lipski's looking to, I believe, set up some sort of omoplata, but now she's given up on that. She's elbowing now. But I do believe that this is where it's going to get funny for her. She has to get back to her feet. This fight, she cannot stay in guard. She cannot stay there with De La Rosa in her guard. If she stays here, De La Rosa is going to win the fight. You know, she's elbowing from the bottom, which I like. The problem is when she elbows from the bottom, when Lipski's elbowing from the bottom, if De La Rosa postures up, because she has to posture up to not get elbowed, that's when Lipski has to put her feet on her hips and kick her away. But De La Rosa's savvy to this too, you know. So it's a really interesting battle. Both these girls can fight. Oh, she goes looking for a heel hook. The knee's out though. There's no heel hook there. The knee's out. Can she change it to a calf slice? I doubt it, but she might be able to sweep from here. Good turn, and she passed the guard to De La Rosa. Well done. Now Lipski's up against a little bit because she can't hip escape here with when she's up against the cage like that. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Knee on belly by De La Rosa. 3 minutes and 19 seconds to go. She's got good side control here. I'd like to see her probably, if from De La Rosa's perspective, maybe go back in a half guard and use a half guard as a Turk ride to keep Lipski pinned down here against the cage. I can't see if she's got control of that up. No, she hasn't got control of the other arm. Lipski needs to get this left hand in on the bicep of De La Rosa's right hand to create more of a frame and start to be able to push away and get some space there. There, she's doing it now. But she has to do it at the same time she does that. She has to start to try and hip escape and get that knee back in. She has to try and get to her feet, man. She has to get to. She's kind of she's like she's not. I'm talking about Lipski here. This left arm of hers needs to. The elbow needs to find the cage. The hand needs to find the floor, and then she has to get up. She has to try and get up from there. Otherwise, this is going to happen all day, and she's going to lose this fight. Oh, happy birthday to my dad too today. It's his birthday, so happy birthday, Papa. Feliz cumpleaños, Papa. The Hungarian Hustler, good morning, all. Happy fight day. Thank you, sir. Mighty Mouse is a gun, says Mark Whelan. Yes, he is, sir. Chili Miners. Tom Aspinall is lurking in the shadows too. You're 100% right, Chili Miners, with that. That's why when you said Leon Edwards, I think, yeah, Leon Edwards too. There's Darren Till. Darren Till's young as well. You know, he's a young fellow. And there's some good, like, lighter English guys, man, that have been impressive. Their names don't come straight to my head, and Tom as well at heavyweight. Joseph says, I think it's because of his stomach condition diagnosed as gastroparesis. Paresis. Okay, he can't eat, and he's always dizzy. Yeah, look, man, if he's sick and he's got a medical condition, then fuck. Yes, it's sad that he's retiring, but good for him for his physical health. So she passed. She's gone to full mount. Has De La Rosa with a minute to go, and she's really beat up on Lipski. She's doing a fantastic job. Oh my god, big elbows there. Lipski needs to buck and try and turn, but there's big shots. The ref's going to step in. They're going to stop her. There's big elbows coming through. She turns. She's not going to get out of this. She's landing big shots, is De La Rosa. Big elbows, huge elbows. The ref jumps very agile from side to side, the ref, and he stops the fight. I was impressed with Lipski. I'd like to see her get up a little bit better, like a few of those tactics and strategies that she had. But I'm super impressed with Lipski's hands. I'm impressed with De La Rosa, of course. She got the win. But I'm impressed with Lipski. She had like good hands, man. She had good hands. Just I would like to see her hit the ground and try and get up a little bit more with a little bit more urgency. She was a bit late also in defending that. I would have liked to see her defend a little bit earlier, the double leg with a cross face or trying to push the head down and a bit of a better sprawl and then getting back up. But this girl's going to be very interesting in this division, I think, Lipski. De La Rosa, of course, is very interesting. But I was impressed with Lipski even in this, even with the loss. Juice says, if you're on the bottom, how hard is it to hold on to someone like bear hugging and holding the opponent close to you? Is it tiring to do it for very long? It is tiring to do it for long. It's hard. And what will happen is that other person will frame. Like they'll do like, say you're holding me, I'll do like a little window wiper thing like that and put my forearm on your face, and I'll frame. You know, when I frame, I can land the elbows on you, can smash your head into the floor. I can just frame, and start to pull away. And then I've got more posture and I'm going to start to land on you. I'm assuming you're asking that from I'm in your guard or I'm in mount. Same kind of deal. It's hard. It's very hard to hold someone. And that isometric contraction is really difficult. It really takes a lot out of you. Matt Bradbury says, it's kind of crazy how good women's flyweight has become and how shallow women's bantamweight has become. Man, the thing is that a lot of women aren't that big. You know what I mean? So you're going to see more in the lighter weights. Women are going to do. There's more women in the lighter weights. It's like men at featherweight and welterweight and lightweight. You see that more men are that weight. Leonard says, did you do or practice martial arts? I absolutely did, mate. My whole life I've been in martial arts. So I did Taekwondo growing up. I boxed a little bit. And then as an adult, I wrestled and did jiu-jitsu. So I wrestled the jiu-jitsu for maybe, I'm going to say 20-something years, 21 years now, something like that. Matt Bradbury says, Chili Miners, true. I think Leon, Allen, and Aspinalli have got the best shot. I think Till has peaked. Brunson is going to dominate him, in my opinion, says Matt Bradbury. Could be. Till's hard to take down. Hard to keep down. And I think that's going to be a problem for Brunson in that fight. But if Brunson beats Till, what do you do with Brunson? You know, he's lost to both Adesanya and to Rob, and he lost both in the first round. Again, that's not saying anything that he can't beat them, but I struggle to see how he beats either one of those guys. Interesting. You know, interesting. Pip Dennison says, good morning, Jefe. Right back at you, sir. Pip Dennison is one of my surfing coaches and friends. Matt Bradbury, what is the craziest reversal you've seen in the cage? When you mean reversal, do you mean like someone was winning and they lost? Or because the craziest one I've seen was that dude, I think it was Drago that got hit in the liver, or he hit the guy in the liver. I can't remember which was which. And then when he rushed in to hit the guy knocked him out. that was one of the craziest fight reversals that I've seen. If that's what you meant. Brad Galea says 1 week without Grange TV is 1 week too long. I agree with you, sir. I agree with you. I missed you guys. And Joseph, he says, happy birthday, Grandmaster. Juice says, just watch the Half Cast podcast where Ty said he received his blue belt. Who is the most dangerous heavyweight on the ground at the moment and of all time? At the moment, right? I don't know. I'd say that Blades is not a very pleasant person if you're on the bottom. I think he's going to pound your fucking head in. But for different reasons, I think Werdum. If I think like that, I think Werdum, like, he wasn't pleasant to be on the ground with. Like, he submitted just about anyone and everyone. Fedor was very dangerous in his own right. Whilst I don't think Nogueira had the jiu-jitsu, no, I don't think, I know he didn't have the jiu-jitsu that Werdum had or anyone like that. He was also very, very, very dangerous on the ground. You know, he was someone that wasn't, like, unless you were the top of the food chain kind of guy, he wasn't a fun guy to be on the ground with. Frank Mir was very dangerous on the ground too. Lesnar, if he got on top of you, Brock Lesnar, if he got on top of you, very, 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 very dangerous guy at heavyweight. Yeah, I something, yeah, along those lines like that. I don't think Ty is one of the most dangerous guys on the ground, but I do think that if he fucking hits you, mate, he's gonna hurt you. Big fan of Ty. This fight, Brandon Moreno and Figueiredo, is going to be a cracker, dude. I hope Moreno wins. I like him. He was on the podcast. He has my vote. Matt Bradbury says, what's your go-to choke when rolling? I have long arms. I like any variation of like Das chokes, anaconda chokes, anything like that. I don't roll much these days. I have to get a double knee replacement, so that's not fucking pleasant. And I'm trying to, put that out as long as possible, before I have to do it. So rolling is kind of not. I'm not in huge amounts of pain, but I'm not. If I roll it, I feel it, and it's not fun. But yeah, I like any kind of chokes like that. Anything guillotines, anything where my long arms come into some sort of play. Joseph, in regards of the Costa situation, I agree with him. UFC has built its empire through job insecurity. Yeah, 100%, 1000%. Matt Bradbury says Whitaker will edge Izzy in the rematch. Man, it's a fight. Those two guys is a fucking pick 'em. You know what I mean? They're two big dudes that both of them hit fucking hard, and they're both really good strikers. Can go either way, man. Anytime. It's a 50-50 fight anytime. I tend to back Rob. Like, the more times they would fight, I would say Rob will probably win that. But you can't take anything away from Israel, man. He's a champion and he's done it, and he beat Rob already once. But I do think that Rob will beat him in a rematch. Leonard says, I respect that. I respect that. I used to do boxing for a couple of months and stopped because I didn't like getting punched. The motivation to keep going sparring if you can't compete on a high level is low for me. Man, honestly, at least you're smart enough to realize that, because a lot of people don't do that. They don't get that, and they keep doing like fighting is not something you do for fun. It's not just and if you do it for fun, it's because there's something there in you that you absolutely thoroughly enjoy fighting, getting hit and hitting people. You should be fighting professionally. But if you're not good enough, you shouldn't do it. And you have to be realistic, because the level of injury and whatnot is fucking crazy. Ben Smith says, love you. I love you too, mate. Ben Smith says, Olenik. Ben Smith, Anaconda guy. Yes, sir. Matt Bradbury, what would you like to see Curtis Blades? Who would you like to see Curtis Blades face next? I don't know, man. Anyone up there in the top, you know what I mean? Me personally, like, any of those big guys that can grapple like that, like Juan Espino is a fucking good grappler as well in that heavyweight division. Very dangerous guy on the ground. any and all of those guys, man. I don't really have a preference there for who I'd like to see him fight. Um, I love watching Curtis Blades fight though. Joseph, can't believe how stacked UFC 263 card next week. Can't wait. Dude, it is crazy. It's going to be a great card. And we'll also be doing the Bellator card. So I'm going to start doing the Bellator cards as well. Not all of them, but next week I'll do both. And then when the big boxing cards are on, I'll be doing that. Brad Galea says, I really hope to see Tyson Pedro back in the cage soon. Hopefully he has made a full recovery. Very underrated in my opinion. His losses don't reflect his talent and skill set. Very talented guy. We've done a bit of work with him as well when was sparring with Rob, and he's trained with us a few times before when I was training there, when I was coaching there. And yeah, he's a talented guy, man. He's a very, very talented guy. Matt Bradbury says Hill is going to smash Paul Craig. This guy is a real deal. Hill is a fucking monster. He's a bad man. Yeah, and I think he's going to give Paul Craig a lot of problems. Jason Jackson deserves a title over MVP. Possibly. I agree with you. I agree with you. That was a big win by Lima against MVP. I'm looking forward to this fight, to these middleweight fights. This Gregory Rodriguez guy that's going to fight as well. He has very, very good jiu-jitsu, kind of like not as good as Jacare, but he's very good jiu-jitsu. Whilst he has power, much like Jacare, he has power, but he's very mechanical with his stand-up. He was just recently was the LFA champion. I think if he can get a little bit more fluidity in his movement with his stand-up and that, it'll open up his already very, very, very good jiu-jitsu. He's a real deal as well. This is going to be an interesting test, I think, for him. Joseph, Coach, can you give us a preview of Volk versus Ortega fight? I think that that fight, I think Ortega's stand-up is good, but I think it's not as good as Volkanovski's. I think Volkanovski's got a lot of different looks to his stand-up. He understands stand-up very well. Like he's been in stand-up for a long, long, long time. And his grappling is very good. You know, he's wrestled since he was a little boy, on and off, but he's been around wrestling his whole life, you know. I remember him at the wrestling comps when he was a kid. Like he had a little bowl haircut and he was like this little nuggety kid. So I always remember that. He played rugby league for a long time. Rugby league, whilst it's not a combat sport, it's absolutely a collision sport, and there is a wrestle element to it. So he's always been in that moving body around, you know. And then obviously he's done formal wrestling and formal jiu-jitsu training. So it's not like he's clueless on the ground. Having said that, I don't think he compares with Volkanovski jiu-jitsu, with Ortega jiu-jitsu for jiu-jitsu. I think Ortega's jiu-jitsu is on a different level. But Alex knows that. I think striking-wise, Ortega has improved, and Ortega has, you know, he has good striking, has very good understanding of boxing. He's got good boxing fundamentals, not just because he's changed now to a new boxing trainer. Obviously, his old boxing trainer that he's worked with for years and years. He's got good boxing fundamentals. He understands how to box. He understands distance. He understands all of that. But I think that Volkanovski just understands how to disrupt your structure in your stand-up. He understands how to break your rhythm. And these are things that are higher level with your striking, you know. He understands how to mix up what you're doing, how to chop away at different things. He understands how to lean on your idiosyncrasies to make you start to open up more in ways that you don't want to. And he's a very, very, very good striker like that. And I think it'll be hard for Ortega to take Volkanovski down. And Volkanovski is very smart. So I think Volkanovski will get that win. And he hits super hard for a little guy. He's not a very little guy, to be honest with you. Let me see. Coach, yeah, so Matt Bradbury says, do you think Rodriguez is more likely to submit or knock out Dusko if he were to win, get a finish? I don't know. It's not a foregone conclusion that he'll beat Dusko, but I think that he has a lot of power in his hands. He's a little bit robotic, but he's very good on the ground. Chili Minor says, what happened to the Tom Breeze fight? Apparently, it was cancelled due to medical issues. Somebody said. Matt Bradbury, Gregory Rodriguez looks like Obama. Chili Miners, just before the main card of Saturdays. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, Chili Miners, UFC commentator Brendan Fitzgerald said there was no clear information as to why it was yanked from the card, but UFC officials later told MMA Junkie it was an undisclosed medical issue. Leonard says, when I used to do light sparring against more experienced fighters, when I just started, I used to be hesitant to throw a hook or something because I thought they might come harder after me. Some people will. Some people will, man. Leonard, were you ever hesitant at sparring when you just started like me? I was hesitant at sparring my whole fucking life, man. I got hit once in the liver, and I remember just feeling like, man, I wanted to cry, shit myself, and go and sit with my mum. That's what I wanted to do. Yeah, of course, he's hesitant. Everyone is. You enjoy it in that, but it still hurts. Middleweight, so 5'10 versus 6'1. Gregory Rodriguez being 5'10 with a 75-inch reach. He's actually got a longer reach. Again, like I said, with the reach, a lot of the times it's got more to do with how broad you are across the shoulders than the actual reach. Fab, who do you think Paul versus Woodley? I would have to say Woodley. I would imagine that Woodley, you know what I mean? You know, he's because he can actually bang, you know, so but he's also goes into his shell if you move him backwards. So I don't know, but he can bang, you know. So Gregory Rodriguez is the underdog. Interesting. But I see Dusko, like I said, it's not a foregone conclusion. I do see that Dusko's a little bit more, not a little bit, but a fair bit more fluid with his stand up. Gregory's a little bit too stiff, but he does hit hard. Matt Bradbury, what's more annoying? Eye pokes or nut shots? Nut shots are more annoying if you don't get hit flush where it injures you, because you only have to get grazed, like touched with the eye, and you get scared that you're going to lose your eyes. That's one of the things. But a good nut shot, mate, there's nothing like that. There's just fucking. I got a mate of mine. I was talking to him yesterday, and he got kicked in the balls by this big Maori girl when he was in primary school, and he fucking spewed up blood. So that's a good nut shot there. They touch gloves. They're in the middle. Both guys in the center of the octagon. Gregory with a very, very high guard. Very like peekaboo kind of style. Dusko looking way more relaxed with his stand-up. He comes in, underhooks by Dusko looking for the takedown himself, it looks. Nice little pummel out of the way there by Rodriguez and hits him with a short right hook. I think Rodriguez will be looking for a takedown of his own. Todorovic moves him around, and now Todorovic has him up against the cage with a deep underhook. Oh, nice throw by Rodriguez. Nice throw. Very impressive. But Todorovic straight to his feet. Good work. Nice throw. It was such a good timing on that throw, man. Now both guys standing here. Rodriguez looking calm. He's got a nice high guard. Goes looking for a leg kick. But much better fluidity with the striking from Todorovic. Nice little stiff jab by Gregory. Very, very, the way that his stance is, Gregory, it's very, very susceptible to a low kick. I don't know if Dusko's going to throw the low kick. He persists with the takedown attempt. It does Dusko, but it was a very good wizard defense there by Rodriguez. Rodriguez up against the cage. And he's able to get off again by framing and moving off him. Oh! Big right hand landed. Dusko rolled with it, but that was a big right hand landed by Gregory. Gregory's hands are looking much better than before. Like, he's not looking quite as mechanical as other times that I've seen him. That was a nice right hand. And Dusko kind of rolled with it, but man, he's displaying a good chin as well, is Dusko. Because that was a good right hand he landed. That was a good right hand. I'm impressed with Dusko, the way he moves his head. I'm very impressed with Gregory though. Oh, again, I struggle to see, and I no offense to these guys, but I do struggle to see these guys doing well in the upper echelons of this division. I do like against the top guys. I don't see them beating like some of the bigger names in this division. Good leg kick landed there by Dusko. But you don't know. People change. The confidence grows. Their comfort level in the octagon grows, and they change. And people look completely different in over the next year or 2 years, especially if they win a few fights. So that changes as well. You see people change completely. I think Dusko's going to go looking. Oh, nice little right hand landed again by Gregory. I think Dusko is going to look for that leg kick there on Gillespie. On ooh, they're trading big shots now. I think Gregor's starting to feel like he's starting to be a little bit more confident with his hands, and he's starting to let his hands go a little bit more, and he's displaying an obvious natural power that he has. Because he's found the range a couple of times. It's just that Dusko has managed to roll out of the range of those punches. Feints with the kicks does Dusko. He's looking for a big right hand, does Dusko. Nice little jab, but nice. 17 seconds to go. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with Rodriguez. He's not as mechanical as I've seen him in the past. And he's looking very patient and very comfortable. And people change, man. They change as they get more comfortable and they get more ring time, you know? Chili Miner says, yeah, there was a lad in my gym who was a really patient counter stroke and he just made me so nervous and do nothing, laughing my ass off, says Chili Miners. Ended up just throwing teeps and the odd jab all spar. Randy says, hey, everyone. Hello, Randy. Matt Bradbury says, pick for Amasov versus Lima. I can't pick against Lima, but it's going to be a cracker fight. That's why I'm going to do the Bellator one. Todorovic has 10 out of 10 head movement. His head movement's good, but he's got a chin on him, which is helping him a lot. Chili Miner says, anyone else's broadcast cut off? No, not yet. Joel Forbes gives a thumbs up. Joel Forbes is the man that designed this jumper that I'm wearing right now. Chili Miners, never mind. And Sasank says the top two of middleweight are already light years above the rest. They are. They're two guys that have hit their peak in their physical and technical careers. You know what I mean? So it's very, very hard to beat people when they're at that level like that. And we're off, people. Again, both guys in the center. Nice little kick. I like that kick from Tusker because it keeps that right hand at home of Gregor's when you throw that left kick. Man, and because I think he's gonna just get hit, they're just swinging every. Oh, left body rip, the same body rip that Jacare throws. Rodriguez just threw it then. Right hand, left, and Dusko's moving his head. Rodriguez went looking for a foot sweep. Again, Dusko getting his head out of the way, but he does have a chin. He got hit with a nice little left hook there, short, sharp left hook by Rodriguez, and nothing doing. He just keeps coming forward. Now he's got his hand up on the phone defending that. So he definitely felt that left hook. He's got a chin on him, does Todorovic, though. An absolute chin. He's showing off a good chin. But you don't want to get hit of someone that looks like Rodriguez too many times. Impressed, man. I'm very impressed with this fight. Nice blast double by Rodriguez. But Todorovic, see, this is what I was talking about in the last fight. Todorovic had posted straight away with his left arm, and he's already getting up. He's not capitulating to the takedown. Rodriguez trying to ride him over, hits him with a nice knee to the head. Todorovic has a hand on the ground now, so he can't be kneed on the head. He has 3 points on the ground. And Rodriguez, very smart, rides him over, looking for the back. He's looking for that left hook to sink that left hook in, which is traditionally the harder hook to sink in. Again, rides him over. Good control here by Rodriguez. Todorovic looking to hit a makeshift switch from there, but I don't think Rodriguez is going to give it to him. Rodriguez is a very good grappler. He knows what he's doing here. Again, he keeps looking for that. Nice. They're trading now. Sorry, I just got caught up watching these guys just trading it right up against the cage. Dusko goes looking for a jab. This fight, it's the combination of both the striking and the grappling and the pace at which they're fighting. I think is going to take a big toll on these guys in the third round. There's 2 minutes to go. Nice leg kick landed by Dusko. And I think that leg kick, he's open for that leg kick all day, is Rodriguez. Over under here, and I'll see if Rodriguez is going to frame again and move off it. This is where he does it from this stance here. Throwing knees down the middle. I don't know if Dusko started to wear out Rodriguez. He's in deep looking for a double leg. Good defense by Rodriguez. Nice little jab landed by Rodriguez. Again, goes looking for that right hand. And Dusko again is able to slide out of it. This left hook, though, is starting to kind of find its home by Rodriguez. I like that left kick, like I said earlier. When you're throwing it up like that, it can either go to the liver or you can throw it up high so that the right hand starts to stay home. Rodriguez looks like he's starting to sneak in a little bit more than what he was earlier. Nice combination of jabs there thrown by Dusko to move Rodriguez back. Oh, again, little like check hook uppercut thing landed by Rodriguez. A punching man. I don't know what it's made of. Because they've landed, a few of them have landed on the button. Nice jab landed by Dusko just before the right hand thrown by Rodriguez. Nice movement here. A lot of feinting here by Dusko. Leg kick landed by Rodriguez. Dusko goes looking for a jab, but Rodriguez slips to the outside of it and skips back into the middle. Seven seconds to go. I have no idea who's winning the fight, guys, because I'm not judging it. I'm just watching it. And yeah, interesting, man. Very, very interesting. The Master Yoda says, Fab, thinking about getting a wife, thoughts, is it worth it? If it's the right person, yes, it's worth it. If it's a wrong person, it is not worth it. I'm lucky to have the right person, and yeah, it's very, very, very much worth it. I don't know where you're going to get the wife from, but yeah. Mark Whelan says the real question is, can the Reaper beat Izzy and retain his title? I mean, can he? Yes. Will he? I mean, it's a fight. It's a tough fight against a tough opponent. I think that Rob has a very, very good chance of beating Israel. I think it's 50-50 anytime they fight. But I think I think it's a tough matchup for both of them. Both of them, it's a tough matchup. Not easy fight for either one of them. But Mark Whelan says GSP was my favorite jiu-jitsu artist. Nick's TV says, let's go Dusko. Leonard says, there's once this big guy we both just started, and when the coach told us spar only body shots used to throw, He used to try throwing headshots, which I don't like after he didn't come for a month while I did go. Yeah, people do that, man, and they're fucking nuts. So I don't know. They touch gloves in the center. They a lot of respect shown for both of them. I don't know who's winning this fight. Not a bad showing by either guy, though, I will say. Not a bad showing at all. Oh, goes looking for a flying knee, does Dusko. I'm actually, yeah, I'm impressed by both guys. He's looking for another blast double, does Rodriguez. Now he's got a single leg, holds it up high. Great flexibility and balance displayed by Dusko. Have man can be very, very dangerous in this middleweight division. Very, very dangerous. Not easy fights, man. Not easy fights in the middleweight division here for anyone that has to fight these guys. Either one of them. Oh, left to the body, right hand to the head by Rodriguez, and Rodriguez counters with the right hand. Man, there's still some power there in Rodriguez's hands. Nice leg kick landed again by Dusko. Yeah, I think what's happened here, from my opinion, just from watching, and I don't know, I see that Rodriguez's hands have improved dramatically, and he's much more fluid in the way that he throws things. His boxing has improved, but I think that that's also changed his stance, where it puts his left foot kind of at an angle as you do in boxing. And whilst it's improved his hands, has left him susceptible to that leg kick. Not a criticism, just an observation. And I think he's the better for it, actually, to be honest with you. Todorovic's head, man, he moves his head well and he doesn't get hit flush, but I keep thinking he's going to get hit. Rodriguez hits hard, man, as well. Todorovic looking very good with his little feints that he does with his jab, and he kind of steps forward and moves in. And he just ate a little left hook kind of shovel little uppercut thing that Rodriguez threw, and he ate it hard, man, flush on the chin. There was no head movement involved that time. He hit it flush. Very impressed with both of these guys. 2 minutes to go. Again, Rodriguez with another little hook. I like those little level changes. Very, very nice. Probably right hand's going to come from Todorovic, I believe, when there's level changes like that occur. Throws a jab. It's very important, like that combination. When you level change and the other guy has to start following you, and you throw the combination, whether it's a jab or a 1-2 or a right hand, whatever you throw, you can throw because the person has level changed, and then they have to you level change, they copy you, and then you throw that combination right after it, and it hasn't really given them a chance to settle. Todorovic is starting to come forward a little bit more with a minute 30 left on the clock, and Rodriguez has to answer back, which he has. He can't let Todorovic run away with this fight. It's been such a close fight. I have no idea who won this fight. I don't think either one of these guys deserves to have lost. They both traded in the middle. They're in the middle of the octagon. Such a close fight, this matchup. Both guys exchange jabs. Left high kick by Todorovic. Good little jabs by Todorovic. Right hand answered by Rodriguez. Again, exchanging low. They're clinching. Oh, right rip to the body. Left hook. The left hook seems to have caught Todorovic a little bit better than others. 33 seconds to go. 27 seconds to go. Another right hand landed by Rodriguez. 17 seconds to go. It's going to go down to the wire. Neither one of these guys has this fight or this round won, in my opinion. So I don't know. Oh, okay, so Todorovic takedown pushes Rodriguez up against the cage, does some body work, but Rodriguez lands one to the head. Time, ladies and gentlemen. What a fight. I was super impressed with that fight. Wow. Leonard, sorry, I'm probably going to skip a few people. Leonard says, either way, I felt I got a bit of revenge since I felt abused the first time around. Hanoi Tripper, do you think Vittori can somehow win, or will Izzy do the same thing again? Well, I mean, can he somehow win? Yes, of course he can win. Like Vittori's not a no joke, you know. He's a big guy that he can grapple and box, and he's got a good gas tank at that division, you know. So yeah, he can win. I think that you'd have to favor Israel though. Joseph says, Coach, hit us up with an Uncle Fab story of the day whenever you're ready. I'd have to think of one, man. Oh, I fucking tell you one. There's a guy, there's a guy that lives just near me here. You know, he surfs big waves and like he's a madman. He goes spearfishing like in deep waters and he's a savage. Like he's an absolute fucking savage. You know, a disgusting human being as well. Nice guy, but disgusting human being. And he was out at a place near here to go and do some surfing or spearfishing. I can't remember which one. He's only telling me this the other day, and he said he had to go to the toilet, right? But there were no toilets. There's just like this like kind of marshland, and then the ocean's behind it, and people walk their dogs there and that. And he went and did his business in the in the bushes, and as he's there and he's you know doing his business, he did it. This lady comes along and she's walking her dog, and the dog runs over, and it starts to bother him while he's doing a shit, right? And the the dogs the dog's barking at him and carrying on. And he didn't want this lady to see him, in the situation that he was in. And so when he was done, he got up, and then the lady comes over and sees him like there near the bushes, and she goes, "Oh, let's call the dog Rover. I don't know the dog's name." And she goes, "Oh, was Rover bothering you? Oh my god, I'm so sorry." And then she walks over, and there was this big fucking pile of shit from this guy. And the lady's like, "Oh, Rover, you went and made a mess right next to this good man." And she gets a plastic bag and picks up this dude's shit and like ties it all up and takes it away. And she goes to him, "I'm so sorry that he did that," and blah 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 blah. I mean, I don't know what the other guy did. I don't know if he went to back and surfed or whatever, but he's an animal. He does shit like that all the time. Um, Mark Whelan says, "Thank you, Fab, for your insights." Thank you, sir. Um, Sasank says, "If only Todorovic could move in and out like Wonder Boy." Yeah, man. If only he could. Um, yeah, so Gregory got the win. It was a close fight, man. Close fight. I think I think Dusko is going to give a lot of the guys that are coming through problems. Um, and I don't know how Rodriguez will do moving forward, but he's no joke. Um, Joseph says, "Hey, coach, how's Eli doing?" He's doing good. He's doing good. He's coaching boxing a lot. He's got a really good team of boxers. Um, with Coach Aaron over at Minto, but yeah, he's just doing like he's a fiery. Most of the time, spends time with his family. He's going to try and come out here for some big cards, but yeah, he's pretty busy. Leonard says, "Did you used to have someone during training who you didn't like that you wanted to mess up during sparring? Because I did. Laugh out loud." Yeah, there's always people you don't like, but a lot of times the guys you want to mess up during sparring, you can't because they're better than you. Joseph, mental note: make sure you're not eating when coach is telling a story. That was a funny one, man. The guy was just telling it to me, but the way he tells it to you, I tell it like it's a impressive anecdote. He tells it to you like it's just fucking nothing. He doesn't tell it to you like this is a crazy ass story. You know, that guy that was in Gregory Rodriguez's corner is Aung Lang and Sung, and he was the ONE FC champion. He was on the podcast as well. Good guy, great fighter. I'll be back in 1 second, guys. Leonard says that is so true. They're so disrespectful, but they are good. Yeah, it happens, mate. There are some like that. What do you do? Mark Whelan. Mainly like it's the striking is bad, but sometimes the jiu-jitsu guys, a lot of them, like the way they act as well, I don't like it as well. Like the fake humble jiu-jitsu dude, like I that does my head in as well. Um, Mark Whelan says Angla is a great fighter. I've watched a few of his fights on one. I think he went from heavy to light heavyweight and won both titles. Yeah, light heavyweight and middleweight, but the way that because you don't the weight cut, yeah. Hanoi Tripper, did your gym used to have walk-ins who would challenge a coach or a top student, like how Matt Serra said he was the guy who had to fight the challenges as a student? No, not really, because there's ways to mitigate that. Like you don't really have that, and it depends. Yeah, no, you don't really have that. No, you could have that if you don't set up the gym correctly, but generally, no, you don't. And there's a process like you have guys in the gym though that are going to handle people as well. You know what I mean? You have your gym enforcers, and you can just let that guy loose on the person. But then otherwise, man, we're not in the Wild West anymore. We're in first world civilized country. You just say to the dude, "You got to leave, man. See you later." Oliver Ekman says, "Hey Fab, how you doing? How's the half Asian daughter doing? What a cutie she is. Who do you have picked for the main?" Rozenstruik probably. I'd say it's just a little bit tidier with his hands and his feet. I'd have to say if I had to guess. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, she's doing good. She's over there making a mess, yelling at people and carrying on. Both Junior says SR. Hey, I don't understand what the SR means. But thank you for joining us, both Junior. I'm looking forward to this fight, man. This is going to be a ripper. I'm a big Santiago fan. I like his stand up. He's got very, very nice stand up. Very interesting fight, this one. Very good grappler is Baeza, though. Yeah, this is going to be a good fight. Miguel versus Santiago. Coach, who you got coming out between the Brooklyn Nets versus the Bucks? Nets. I'm going to go with the Nets. Leonard says people who say fighting can be a hobby like other sports are so wrong in my experience. It's a totally different mindset from training to sparring. Dude, it's fucking madness. It's not. It's madness. Grumio says shocking Santiago is this low on the card. Yeah, Santiago can fight, man. This dude can fight too. Miguel can fight. Mark Whelan says, I think it has something to do with where Angla is from. What do you mean by that, Mark? Sasank says, has it ever rained spiders in Australia like they say? It's never rained spiders on me. Oh no, it has the other day, actually. It has. It wasn't raining, but my wife wouldn't go outside because she's scared of spiders. She hates spiders. Um, yeah, they get picked up like the like little but tiny ones, like the size of ants, right? They I think they hatched, the eggs hatched, and the spiders go out in the wind, and it was raining fucking spiders, man. Wasn't actually raining them, but yeah. Suriname. Oh, nice. Do you live there, Junior? Do you live in Suriname? Mark Whelan, the comment you didn't understand, it's coming up as flags on the screen. Oh, I see. Okay. Because for me, it's not coming up as flags. It's not. It just says, yeah, there's no flags. So, Saint, mate, you should get paid for just for living in Australia. No, it's actually quite nice, man. It's very nice to live here, especially where I live. But yeah, it did rain spiders. That wasn't even that long ago. That was like 3 4 months ago. Hold on a second. say hello. Say hello. Hello.
Daddy.
Yes.
Pepe.
She wants to watch Peppa Pig. She doesn't want to watch the fights. Leonard says, did you ever do something that you regretted in your fight career? Maybe an injury, etc. Didn't recover well, etc. Fuck, man. This I didn't fight, but I grappled and I competed in stuff.
Daddy.
But there's a lot of shit I regret. I didn't do a lot of things properly. I wish. Okay, the biggest one that I'd say to everyone, to anyone, is stretch more. That's one thing that I will say to everyone. Just stretch more. You'll move better. You'll feel better. You'll stave off injuries. But stretch, man. That's the one thing I would say to everyone. Mark Whelan says, cool, just wanted to explain. Junior says, Suriname. Obviously, he's from Suriname. What other dangerous animals are in this week's weather? Man, the sharks are out, eh? It's been a little bit sharky out there today. Not today, but in the last few weeks. They say, I don't know, I haven't seen any. Jackson Fish says, what do you think goes differently in a Izzy versus Robert rematch? I mean, anything can happen. It's a fight. I don't know exactly what could happen differently, but it can go either way, man. So anything could happen. Kenahuna says Pepe can get these hands. Chili Miner says that's Bellator that cuts out to Peppa Pig, not UFC, unfortunately. Man, this is going to be a barn burner, so I'm going to take this little maniac out of here. We're off, people. We're off. Junior, settle down, mate. We know you're from Suriname. We're fans. I actually have some questions about Suriname in a second, but right now we got this crazy ass fight between Santiago and Miguel. And Santiago's pushing him back. Miguel's looking very good. Baeza's looking very good. He throws an inside low kick. Santiago's moving him forward, lands a nice stiff jab. Santiago's kickboxing is very, very good. I'm really impressed with it. Nice low kick landed by Baeza. Another low kick thrown, but that foot hit that shin, man. That one hit the shin flush. Another low kick landed by Baeza, but Santiago's moving forward like that on a kicker. It's very hard for Baeza to get the kicks off. Nice front kick attempt. Santiago's moving him forward very, very nicely. A lot of feints, a lot of level changes. Nice low kick landed by Baeza. Jab attempt by Baeza. An inside leg kick landed by Baeza. Now an outside leg kick attempt by Baeza. Santiago doing a good job of just pushing him back. This is a very interesting thing. When you're fighting a kicker, a good kicker like that, you've got to move him backwards and you've got to kick with a kicker. You can't let him have all that range. By moving him back the way Santiago is doing, he's mitigating some of those kicks from Baeza. Smart work by Santiago. Baeza comes forward. Jab to the body, right to the... Ooh. Baeza still keeps going for the... Ooh. So kicks and punches exchanging here. These guys are throwing heavy leather. Doubles up on the jab, does Ponzinibbio. That lower leg of Santiago's is busted up already. There's welts all over and he's starting to walk a little bit funny. So Baeza has landed those kicks, even though one of them was like checked. It was checked on the foot. Obviously, he didn't get the memo. Oh, he landed a nice left-handed Baeza, and then it lands a little uppercut on Ponzinibbio. Now he's moving Ponzinibbio back. Ponzinibbio coming forward with the hands. Another leg kick landed by Baeza. Nice right high kick landed. It didn't land, but it landed like kind of on the arms of Baeza by Ponzinibbio. Again, Baeza is looking for that low calf kick, and Ponzinibbio kind of checked that one as he stepped back. Oh, both guys exchange low kicks. Oh, right hand landed by Ponzinibbio. The mat looks slippery. The cage looks slippery at the moment. Left high kick attempt. Ponzinibbio is slipping all over the mat. He's slipping bad on the mats. This isn't going to benefit someone that needs a footwork like Ponzinibbio does. Right hand landed by Baeza, then a left kick to the body by Baeza. Baeza goes looking for a calf kick, but Ponzinibbio was already checking that kick. Again, that calf kick by Baeza. Exchanging punches. They haven't quite found their range. Nice little jab, but inside kick landed by Baeza. Oh, 1-2 landed by Baeza. Now it's controlling the hands of Ponzinibbio. Baeza a front kick down the middle. Oh, nice calf kick. One combination of punches thrown by Ponzinibbio. Ponzinibbio now has Baeza up against the cage. He's landing a big left hook landed by Ponzinibbio, and that's the bell. Good exchange by the guys. Very, very, very nice fight. I love it. Wow. Ponzinibbio has been banged up. That calf is banged up pretty bad. But he's checked a lot of those kicks too. He's checked a few of those kicks. And you only need to check one or two perfect and, could break the foot. Mark Whelan says, I doubt if Logan will even land punches on Floyd. That was one of his strengths. His head move and his shoulder roll is awesome. Yes, sir. Kernahuna says, just block and report. Sasank says, did the cutman put Vaseline on Ponzinibbio's feet? I don't know if he would have put Vaseline on the feet. I don't know if he would have put Vaseline on the feet because that's just going to start to get real slippery. Yeah, I don't know that he put Vaseline on the feet there, but his legs definitely banged up. And he looks a little gingery when he's walking forward. But he's shown some really good kicks, some really good punches as well, Ponzinibbio has. Where he's stepping into that kick, he's going around and he's throwing that jabs. Very, very nice. Oh. Good exchanges. Nice leg kick of his own thrown by Ponzinibbio, and he needs to throw those kicks. He needs to throw those kicks to keep Baeza moving backwards. I'm just going to put this on. Big shots landing. Yeah, I had to put this on because my daughter is screaming in the other room. Good combinations. Another calf kick landed by Baeza. He lands a right hand over the top and stumbles Ponzinibbio. Ponzinibbio is up against the cage. He's still with it though, and he's still moving. That leg is wobbled, but he's still moving. Man, it makes you more and more susceptible to two things when you're getting hit like that and hurt to the legs. One, you can't get out of the way, and when you do get hit, you don't have the same level of balance. And Baeza's very, very, very good, very dangerous guy in this division. Ponzinibbio is looking for a takedown. Baeza stops the takedown. He's chopping it away. Another leg kick landed by Baeza. And he's looking for that 1-2 up the middle. And then he throws a nice little uppercut, does Baeza. None of which have landed, though. Nice stiff jab of Baeza. Ponzinibbio has to come forward. He can't let Baeza be able to pick him off with the kicks. He's doing a great job, is Ponzinibbio, but he's fighting a guy that in Baeza that's very, very good. Doing a good job of coming forward, and Baeza's just covering up as Ponzinibbio comes forward with his punches. I like how he's doubling up and tripling up on that jab, is Ponzinibbio. Good work here. Doubles up on the jab, throws a right hand as Ponzinibbio. Ponzinibbio goes looking for a right kick of his own, low kick of his own. Over the top with the right hand comes Baeza. Nice. He slips right under the right hook, does Ponzinibbio, but Baeza's looking very fresh out there. He's looking very, very good, very calm, very collected, and just keeps checking away at those kicks or at those legs of Ponzinibbio. Just wearing them away. Inside kicks and low and outside kicks. But Ponzinibbio throws good combinations here. Does a lot of good work behind that jab, does Ponzinibbio. And he's starting to snap back the head of Baeza. Starting to get his timing a little bit better going here with the jab. He has snapped back Ponzinibbio's Baeza's head a few times, has Ponzinibbio. There it's happening again. And it's just now he's starting to, like in this latter part of the second round, that Ponzinibbio is starting to find a home for his jab, both to the body and to the head. I do think he's going to need to get a finish to win this fight, but he's bloodied up the nose a little bit of Baeza. Baeza seems to have slowed down a little bit. Ponzinibbio is looking for a double leg. Baeza stops it in its tracks with a brilliant sprawl. Again, he snaps his head back. Ponzinibbio is finding a home for that jab. I'm very, very impressed with Ponzinibbio's hands. Oh, and he lands a big calf kick off his own, does Ponzinibbio. Nice combinations with the hands from Ponzinibbio. 43 seconds to go. Lands a big left hand, does Ponzinibbio. He's just getting to the punch faster with that jab. 35 seconds to go. He's really finding a home for the jab. I'd like to see him go to the body. Go to the body, Ponzinibbio. Baeza does a good job of circling back to the middle of the octagon, not getting caught up against the fence, but he's just eating jab after jab after jab of Ponzinibbio's. 2 times now he's taken that flush on the chin. He went for the calf kick, but he took that on the shin, did Ponzinibbio. He is checking that calf kick, though. Well, good defense there by Baeza in that combination. I'd like to see Ponzinibbio. That was a great second round, and the good finish by Ponzinibbio in that second round. He mucked up Baeza's face towards the latter part of the second round. All up with the thing that I've seen with this is like, yes, getting punched in the face is very demotivating. Oliver Ekman says, yeah, I kind of had that going with wrestling, but I found it again my second season. Wrestling's a little bit different though, dude, because you don't get punched in the face, which is why I like wrestling a lot more than striking. Mark Whelan says, yeah, I must say I'm no fan of getting punched in the face, so I don't blame you. I'm a fan of your basketball. Cheers, my man. The thing I was going to say with that is that's one of the things where strikers have an advantage coming into MMA, because you can have gone your whole grappling career and have an illustrious grappling career and never been punched in the face, and it makes a huge difference when you get punched in the face for the first time. My thinger has paused. Do not do this to me now. This is an awesome fight. I don't want it to pause. I don't want to lose the fight. Of course, this is my life. Yeah, just cut out on me the broadcast. And I think we're gonna please come back. You're killing me. And we're off. 4:22 of the third round. I'm sorry. We're off. Ponzinibbio looking to punch his way back into this fight. Man, it was so impressive in that latter part of the second round with that jab, starting to find a home for the jab And like I said, I'd like to see him not a lot to the body, but when he's starting to stand there and you see the Baeza, now Baeza's fresh into the start of the third round and lands a beautiful lead right hand. But as he was starting to wear him out, he's starting to hit those jabs. I'd like to see him hit a jab to the body just to mix it up and change his levels. Because then you got people looking not just forward and back and side to side, but up and down, and that starts to create more movement and harder things to. Ooh, nice right kick landed by Ponzinibbio to the leg of Baeza. Ponzinibbio very much in this fight. Good combinations from both guys. Baeza's looking to come forward himself. Oh, that calf kick landed by Baeza. Ponzinibbio looking for a home for that jab. Baeza starting to find a home for his. Tripled up on the jab did Ponzinibbio and landed. Landed the last punch there of the jab combination. Nice combination there. A double on the jab and a right hand by Baeza snaps Ponzinibbio's head back. Ponzinibbio kind of rolled away from that right punch. Ooh, the left hand missed by centimeters of Ponzinibbio. Now he's starting to find a home for his punches, is Ponzinibbio. Baeza displaying a good chin too here. And he rolls quite well. Nice right hand to the body by Baeza. Oh, nice calf kick landed by Ponzinibbio himself. Was looking for a right hand. Does Baeza. Oh, right hand landed by Ponzinibbio. Oh my God. That right hand landed flush. Left hand finds a home again by Ponzinibbio. Both guys trading. Semi checks out calf kick, does Ponzinibbio. Baeza with a nice kick to the body there. Nice little left kick to the body, partially blocked. And then an inside leg kick landed by Baeza, then followed by a jab. Baeza does a great job of upsetting your rhythm because he's throwing the combinations like throwing an inside leg kick and then throwing a jab straight after it. Nice calf kick landed. 2 calf kick landed by Ponzinibbio. We have ourselves a crazy fight here. 1 minute to go. Man, this fight, I don't know who wins this fight now. The first round, I had it to Baeza, and I had Baeza winning the second round comfortably, and then Ponzinibbio came back, finding a home for his jab, and then Ponzinibbio starting to land big shots here in this round as well. Oh, right hand landed there by Ponzinibbio. They're coming forward now is Ponzinibbio with a big left hand lands on Baeza. Little uppercut landed by Baeza, but Ponzinibbio has just come back in a huge way in this fight, and he's finding a home for his strikes. He's finding a home for that jab. That's been the story of the fight for Ponzinibbio, is him finding a home for that jab. Now he's starting to find the right hand behind it. Baeza's still very much in it, lands a right hand of his own, but he's fading. He's fading. There's 18 seconds to go. Gets another jab landed and a big left hook landed by Ponzinibbio. Ponzinibbio's coming forward. Baeza's still biting down on his mouth guard and throwing punches. But Baeza's fading, very much fading in this fight with 7 seconds to go. Ponzinibbio coming forward. They're landing shots, rights and lefts. But Ponzinibbio, in my opinion, is getting the better of these exchanges. Mate, they stopped the fight. I believe Ponzinibbio won this fight. What a comeback. What a comeback. Wow. Oliver says, no, it's different from wrestling, but wrestling is very hard. Wrestling is stupid hard. Stupid hard. I did, however, get smashed across the nose from an aggressive, gross face. Now, wrestling's super hard. Wrestling is like, again, wrestling, if you don't like it, you can't do it. You just can't. Yeah, Baeza's got an awful base, says Chili Minus. Throws himself off balance with movement, strikes too much, crosses his legs often. Chili Minus just makes it look that much more dramatic when he's hit. Kawhi Leonard says, Did you ever knock somebody out or almost? And if so, how did it happen? No, I've never knocked anyone out ever in my life. We've choked people out, but I've never knocked anyone out. No. No, I think Santiago won this fight very comfortably, man. Wow. Not comfortably, but I think he won it. I think he ran away with it the latter part of the second round and in the third round. Man, those some of the shots that Miguel took were crazy. Crazy. Ponzinibbio did a great job, man. That was pretty impressive, man. Wow. I'm waiting for the result. I think Ponzinibbio won it. Yeah, he did win it. What a fight. What a fight. He he came back behind that jab so well, man. He really, really good job. Just doubled and tripled up on his jabs. Won 8 out of his last 9 fights. Yeah. Oliver Ekman says crossface. Yeah, I know the crossface, man. It fucking hurts. Mark Whelan says, at least you're 100% honest with your answers, Fab. That's what I love about most Aussies. No, we have lying fucks here in this country too, so trust me, we have an abundance of lying, dishonest people in this country. Don't you worry about that. Leonard says, I like how you read most of the comments, mate. That's very considerate. I try and do my best, man. I just want to thank you guys because without you guys, there is no show. So easy for me to read the comments. I love reading the comments. I enjoy it. We have good people. So I really like it. I was going to ask the guy from Suriname how big the kickboxing is in Suriname. Like how, because I know that it's meant to be pretty big, but I was just curious as to see how full on it was over there and what it was like living in Suriname. So if you're still there, please tell us. I'll be back. Oliver Ekman says Fab is the man. He's so interactive with his chat, far more than most other streamers. Really, I would have thought that they would interact with the stream. I don't see what the point would be of not interacting with the stream. Chaitanya says, anyone know if Logan Paul versus Mayweather fight is on? Mark Whelan says, I'm aware that we have liars, but as a whole, most Aussies are real. Maybe in Sydney it's a bit more shonky, but here in Melbourne, I find you get it straight up. Well, there you go. I'm glad that that's been the experience for you, my friend. Harsh Thakur says, Logan Paul versus Floyd, your prediction. Floyd will win unless he's been out of his fucking mind. I don't know. Interestingly, who do you think wins in the Edwards fight, and how? I'm impressed with Edwards. Edwards actually one of my favorite fighters. I really like watching him fight. I really like the way he fights. And Nate is Nate, and I always like Nate. But I think Edwards going to probably have a few too many tools. I think, especially in the leg kick department. Southpaw and Southpaw, that's interesting. And he cuts easily too, does Nate, like his brother. And Edwards likes to throw that elbow as well and cut. Having said that, though, Edwards doesn't have that big one-stop shop power. Like he does have it, but he doesn't. It's not what he's known for. It's not what he sits behind, so to speak. And so I see that being a problem as well, man. I see because Nate can then come forward and keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. So that's going to be interesting as well. Is the Floyd fight tonight? I have no idea, to be honest. Chili Miners, he's definitely bagged himself the easier pull, brother. When will Rozenstruik versus Sakai fight? There's still a few fights to go. I think there's still a couple of fights to go. I'll tell you right now. So there's Roman versus Staropoli and Walt Harris versus Marcin Taboo, and then Tybura, and then Jairzinho Rozenstruik versus Augusto Sakai. So there's still a little bit to go. Kawhi says most people who stream on YouTube just let their chat overflow and they just do their thing, barely acknowledging it. So I normally stay away from that. But you're different. Thank you, Leonard. Thank you so much. You're such a sweetheart. Mark Whelan, Leon for me all day. I love the Stockton slap, so who knows? Chili Miners, he'll play the range better, kick the legs, control cage position, and generally box and elbow Nate's head to bits. Could be. Mr. Camper Gaming says, okay, man, thanks. Thank you, guys. Hey, thank you very much. If you haven't already, please hit the like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you get the notifications. We will be changing the name of the podcast possibly by next week, and I'll leave that as a surprise for everyone. But we will be changing that. Let me see who's next. Staropoli versus Dolidze. So Roman versus Laureano. Oliver Ekman says, I'm almost as excited about the Nate Edwards fight as I am for the Israel versus Marvin fight. So pumped for that. Yeah, it's going to be a good card next week. Good card. Hopefully no one gets COVIDed out or anything like that. Ahmed says, why do most people in boxing always disrespect and discredit Floyd Mayweather Jr.? I don't know that most people do. Like, I don't really, I haven't really seen that. Oliver Ekman says, you're changing the name. I am, sir. I am changing the name. Grumio says, looking forward to the rebrand, mate. Nice to finally be awake for a fight night. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I'm glad to have you join us here. Oh, Grumio says 1:30 in the morning over here in the UK. I'm sorry that you guys have to go through that. I'm glad that we get the fights during the day, because otherwise it'd be fucking awful to do it at night. Rozenstruik, man, he's a big boy. Augusto Sakai walking in, looking very, very calm. Won 6 of his last 7. Leonard says, do I like soccer? Not particularly, but I've got a soccer family. I got like my whole family played soccer. My dad, my uncles, my cousins, everyone but me. Like I played till I was about 13 or something, but I never really, really liked soccer like that. Like how some kids like love soccer. I didn't like it like that. Oliver Ekman says, are you going to keep the neon? That neon there? No. I'm going to have probably a new neon with a new one on. So we will be changing all of that by next week, I think. Yeah. I'm watching the guys walk in. That I remember watching that fight. Oh my god. Laureano is, I don't believe Laureano. Oh, yeah. Let's see it. I just want to see the fight. Roman Dolidze versus Laureano Staropoli. Pepe. I'm going to call him Pepe because it's a lot easier than say the whole name. Pepe versus Roman. Um, So Ahmed says, I always see the people call Floyd Mayweather Jr. a runner and say his fights are rigged and so on and so forth. It's actually just funny reading the hate comments towards him. Yeah, I mean, that's probably fucking the same dickheads that write that LeBron is a shit basketball player. Like, he's obviously not a shit basketball player. And Mayweather may not be your favorite boxer. And, you know, there's there are things where you could say this or that or the other about some of the fights. Not so much that they were rigged, but definitely that like he fought guys, but he was smart. He fought guys in out of their weight division and not inside their prime. But that doesn't mean that doesn't mean shit. That doesn't mean that he's not good. That just means that that's what it was. Joseph says need a neon sign that says Uncle Fab story time. Yeah, I might have to get one. Thank you, sir. Mark Whelan. Maybe because he's unbeaten that gets people pissed and they get their back up. I'm talking about why people don't like Floyd. Oliver Ickman says, Joseph, that's funny, man. Juice says, just woke up. I passed out to Fab's beautiful, soothing West Sydney accent. Kawhi Leonard says, I mean, he's a great defensive fighter, but from a fan's point of view, he's an joy for the eye, like headhunters like Pacquiao, etc. Yeah, but having said that, like I like you see some of his fights, man, like back in the day, and they were fucking good, man. Like he you know, some of them were close, man. Like De La Hoya was close. Martovi says, hey, Fab, looking good as always. Long time no see. No, sir, you're right. Glad to have you back, sir. Mr. King game is heavyweights, and then it's them. Juice says, have you given your prediction for this fight? Sakai is huge. For the main card, I think Rozenstruik will probably win it. I think he's just a bit tidier and he hits very hard. And he's got a bit more of that kickboxing experience, but that's me. That's just a guess. Chili Miner says people are saying the same about Joshua for fighting behind his jab in the Ruiz rematch, but they've just got to do what works, I suppose. 100 billion fucking percent. Joseph says, just watch the Mayweather versus Canelo fight. Yeah, that Canelo fight though, you got to understand, Canelo was for doing it, you know. And good on Canelo for taking the fight at such a young age. Dog Poo Headquarters says, looks like that mat is coming up at the seams. Which mat are you talking about? Oliver Ekman says, two camper. Joseph says, Oliver Ekman, let's start a GoFundMe for that neon sign. Laugh out loud. All right. My stream's just chopping and changing, today. Kawhi Leonard says, do you think Canelo could have beaten the Mayweather from back when they fought? I think he could. Like Canelo today? Canelo today versus Floyd back then? They're different divisions. Canelo's bigger, you know? And yeah, I think it's yeah, I don't know, but I think Canelo's bigger, you know. And what weight are you talking about for them to fight? Because if Canelo has to go down to fight Mayweather, like at a Mayweather being a smaller guy, Mayweather can say, I want to go down and fight a smaller guy. You got to remember, like Canelo fought Golovkin. Mayweather's not going to fight Golovkin, you know. Okay, so we have Roman versus Pepe. Roman has a 76-inch reach advantage versus 71.5 reach for Pepe, which is it's very, very small reach. Martobi says, what's been happening? Did you guys end up coming up with a new name for Grange TV? Yes, we did, sir. All will be revealed. Next week, possibly, Martovi. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. So Pepe's the underdog. Roman's he won the Asian Trolls for in Abu Dhabi, but then he lost in the first round when he competed in grappling in at Abu Dhabi. But it's an accomplishment. Asian Trolls is not as amazingly crazy as the US or the European or obviously the American Trolls in general, like the Brazilian Trolls or something like that. But it's still a very high level of grappling. You got to be able to grapple to get through. It's not easy. The Asian Trolls are not easy. All right, so we're off. Both guys in the orthodox stance. Pepe already starting with some nice feinting and getting Roman moving. Going to be interesting to see if he stands. Nice 1-2 down the pipe by Pepe, and then he throws a left high kick. I love that left high kick combination when you can throw to keep that right hand at home. And also, I believe that Roman's going to drop his level to try and get this fight to the ground. And a lot of the times when you drop that, you start to drop it in like his Roman's right exactly. I was a fucking stuttering through it, and I was saying he's going to drop his head in that direction. So it's good for you to throw that left high kick. I don't know why it was so hard for me to say that. So Pepe trying to stay standing. He's got 1 foot down. Roman's definitely putting his grappling to work, and he needs to do that. Great work here. Holding him up against the cage. I think Pepe's trying to find his back to the cage. He's trying to get his back to the cage, but Roman's not letting him do that. Roman not letting him do that at all. Looking for he's just being held up against the cage this whole time. Is Pepe? He needs to get his back to the cage and start to pummel those underhooks, at least an underhook in. Otherwise, Roman's going to stay on his back and just keep doing these little knees and just holding him and wearing him down eventually. But he's going to be able to take him down at some point from this position. It's not a favorable position for Pepe. Pepe needs to get his back to the cage. Needs to get his back to the cage and start to pummel an arm in. That elbow, that left elbow of Pepe's, if he can get it vertical, so you want that arm vertical, that forearm vertical, so you can start to push that elbow in and get your back to the cage. That's what you want to do. At the moment, Pepe's arm is horizontal, and when it's horizontal, it's very hard to get that arm in. So you want to get that arm vertical and then drop your level. Now one hook was in. He was able to get the hook out. See there, that forearm has to get vertical for you to be able to get that elbow in and then get your back to the cage. So what's the coach? Have you seen Triple G's of late? He's extremely juicy. Laugh out loud. No, I haven't. Kawhi says, I mean, from a skill point of view, even if he went down in weight, I think Canelo has a much bigger chance at this age than when he was 23. Oh, yeah, 1 billion%. He's not even close to the same person as what he was back then. Mark Whelan, Fab, do you think Golovkin can beat Canelo? Do you think Golovkin can beat Canelo in the first fight? Do you mean, do I think Golovkin beat Canelo in the first fight? Or, or no, I mean, like he didn't because the result was the result. So, um, it was a close fight, man. It wasn't like you can't. Yeah. Anthony Holloway says was good. What is good, my friend? So this whole round has been Roman holding Pepe up against the cage and just working him. Not doing a lot of damage, not doing anything. Pepe's looking for a Kimura, but I think that's going to only be to his detriment because what Roman wants is this fight like this on the ground, etc., etc. Drops deep for a double leg does Roman, but one of the things that Pepe does do well is that he's posting on his left hand and he doesn't capitulate the takedown. 30 seconds. He needs to get that arm and drop his level, get that arm in from a vertical position, not from a horizontal one. It's not going to happen like that. 10 seconds to go. And that's the round, ladies and gentlemen. It's not pretty, but if you get held up like that again by someone, fuck, you get held up like that by someone. That's the game. Pepe looks none too pleased. Not a lot happened. You know what I mean? That you can say. So, Anthony Holloway, nothing much. I see you guys talking about boxing today. What's that all about? Laugh out loud. Oh, man, love boxing as well, you know? Kawhi Leonard says, what was the trigger for you to practice fighting? Did you do it for self-defense or did you like it? I don't like fighting, Kawhi. I'm not a fighter. That's the thing. But I think I just started doing it as a little kid because I was a small kid. It's only myself and my sister. I don't have brothers or anything, and so I didn't really get to interact in that rough and tumble world that boys do until much later. You know, so I think I needed to do that from a self defense and confidence perspective as a little kid. You know, and we're off again. Second round starts. Round. It was that first round was more. Drops his level, hits a double leg again, and we're going to see a replay of that first round. Good job by Roman trying to tie up the legs now so that Pepe can't get his legs out. What he needs to do is tie up that right leg. He needs to catch it on the knee. No, he didn't do it, and Pepe's up. And now Roman has the clinch around the body, landing knees to the legs of Pepe, but it's not doing a lot of damage. And I don't think that Pepe can get out of this if he doesn't know how to. And you need to get your back to the wall and get that elbow vertical, like that forearm vertical, you know. And then you'll already have an underhook, which will help you defend the double leg, because this is just going to be rinse and repeat by Roman. Anthony Holloway says they say you can't love MMA if you don't love boxing. I don't know who said that, but I agree. I agree, sir. The forearm has to get vertical for it to work. But he's able to break off from the clinch. He's looking for that left high kick because that's the way that Roman leans. Oh, he fell. I think that mat is slippery, eh? Roman's stand up though is kind of cumbersome, like the way that he stands in that. He doesn't have fluid motion in his hands in that with his stand up. Goes looking for another double leg. Does Roman gets the double leg again? A repeat of what happened last time. See this right leg of Pepe's? That right leg is what Roman needs to control to not let him get back to his feet, which he did. Now he's landed the far hook, and traditionally that's the harder hook to land in when you're up against the cage like that because the cage is in that position. And this is just rinse, repeat. He's doing a good job, Pepe, of getting back to his feet, but this is going to happen all night. And Roman doesn't seem to mind. Like there's no urgency from him to like, I don't know if the crowd's booing or not because it can't hear it, but he's just going about his business, which is admirable, honestly, because he's playing his game. He's not getting caught up in playing a different game. I don't think shelf life for him, as in like there'll be a lot of guys he won't be able to do this to. But it's working in this fight, and this fight's all that matters for now. Juice says, I just watched Gallen versus Brown. Gallen should go for a belt next. Well, there's a lot of belts in boxing. Okay, nice work there. Roman goes for a heel hook straight away, fell on his back. He elevated him with butterflies and went for a heel hook. I'd like to see this fight either stay on the feet or go to the fucking ground, one or the other. But that no man's land is killing me. And that left high kick from Pepe is very good weapon to use because that's a side that Roman keeps dropping his head to shoot the double. And he loves to shoot a good double, does Roman. 11 seconds to go. And that's the story of the fight. Up against the cage. Nice high kick landed there. Again, took it on the gloves by Pepe. I think Pepe should maybe start looking and trying to land some takedowns of his own. Because that's another way to stop the other guy from just shooting takedowns on you all the time and it messes up his rhythm. Mark Whelan says, just by hearing you comment on the fights, it explains how much jiu-jitsu you have done. Kudos to you, Fab. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Grumia says, MMA has made boxing boring for me. I still tune in for the big fights, but the most exciting boxing match is nothing on the most exciting MMA match. Man, the thing is, though, if like with boxing itself, it's a specialist art, you know what I mean? So it doesn't, but the level of the technical nuances that are happening, you know, in the background with boxing is same as with wrestling. Like you watch it and you see like dudes fainting and dropping their levels and, you know, trapping their hands and doing like all sorts of stuff. And you can start to really appreciate that. But you have to have done that kind of work, you know what I mean? To really appreciate it. And we're off in the third round. I'd like to see Pepe start to threaten some takedowns. And a nice calf kick there is open for Pepe to throw, as well as that left high kick. Keep throwing that left high kick, Pepe. And there's that left high kick. Nice, and there's a low kick. He needs to throw both those things to keep Roman off him. And also, he might catch Roman on the way in. Nice. Nice by Pepe. So he threw a question mark kick followed by a side kick. Right hand to the body would be a good weapon for Pepe to use as well because it lowers his level, makes it harder for the takedown to occur, and Roman could run into it. Roman throws a low kick of his own. Whilst I see Roman winning this fight, if he keeps going the same way, he's going to have to do something, I think, with his stand-up because guys are going to come at him with, you know, better takedown defense and better stand-up in as he goes up in the upper echelons of the middleweight division. Pepe's got nice stand-up, man. He's got nice stand-up when he lets it go. Nice. I like he's got nice little feints and he comes in and out. But the thing is, Roman has made him very hesitant with he's given him PTSD with the whole thing that he does with the pushing him up against the cage. That left high kick's good. That left high, oh, and then he went into the star. He went into his space. Roman does a good job, man. He does the right things. Now that he's slippery, Pepe has to try and get that elbow vertical, get it down, and get your back to the cage, man. That's the only thing you can do. Boxing is fun when you land a punch. When you receive one, you get pissed. Laugh out loud. Tip Top says, "Do you think the ref should let them hold this long?" Well, yeah, it's on. Oliver Ekman says, "What are you watching, boxing or UFC Fight Night?" Look, I think the thing is, it's on you to get free. So yeah, 100%. And Roman has worked hard to get himself to that position. So yeah, I don't believe in stand-ups or anything like that. I think like if you get held down, you get held down. That's on you. You have to fight your way out of things. It's a fight. It's a no holds barred fight. Well, there's a little bit of holds barred, but yeah, nice. So now we see that Pepe has defended it himself. He went for a front choke, but he got caught back in the. I would have liked to have seen him push off there and just get up. Sprawl and get up, Pepe. Oh, he goes looking for a switch, but it's hard with that head on the inside. You can switch with the head on the inside, but it's harder. He'd be looking more like for a spladle from that position than a switch, I would say. But Roman's still working here, but now Pepe has to get off the cage. He's got a minute to go. Roman has put in a lot of effort in these takedowns now. He'll need a bit of a breather. Don't give him the breather, Pepe, and get out of the way. Get out of the way. Start striking. If he gets up, he gets up. Big shots. Land those big shots. If he gets up, he gets up. Now let him stand up. Get him to stand up. Get him to stand up, Pepe, or he's going to win this fight. There's 1 minute to go. He's going to do that the whole time. Stand him up. There we go. Land that left high kick. Land the left high kick, Pepe. I'm not going for either guy. I just want to see the fight. Nice work by Roman. Good on Roman for playing his game. You can tell that this squad was not affected by peer pressure. He just keeps doing what he does. Kawhi says, why did the UFC go from a square ring like in Pride to an octagon? The UFC was never fought in the UFC was always fought in an octagon when they came up with it. It was always the octagon. And I think it was just the thing because it wasn't a ring, you know what I mean? It was different to a ring. I just thought Roman was Bilal Muhammad for a second. Looks like him. Mark Wheel, in fact, did you expect Doug Rose was going to do that to Wei Ling? I've always been a fan. It was a sort of funny because before the fight, Wei put out a clip of her kicking ability. I didn't know who was going to win. But I mean, they're both good girls. You know, they're both good. They both can fight. They're both now. They're both arguing with each other. I don't see though. I understand Pepe's frustration, but I don't see what Pepe can be upset about. To be honest with you, he had 15 minutes to fight. You know what I mean? And the guy held on to him. I know it's extremely frustrating, but that's the fight. You know what I mean? That's what happens in a fight. He's very frustrated. I mean, that's what happens, you know, like dude's going to play his game and Roman played his game. Fab, do you think BJJ is no longer a core part of fighting nowadays due to casuals not understanding grappling? It seems that wrestling and striking are the most important. Well, wrestling is a form of grappling to begin with. That's the first thing I'm going to say. And take any of those arts, right? Take grappling, wrestling, BJJ, boxing, whatever you want to call it. The way I explain it is this, man. Swimming is to surfing what BJJ is to fighting. It's not like you can't even think about going surfing if you can't swim, right? Because you're going to drown. But once you're in there, it's very fucking different. It's not your swimming ability. There's all these other things that come into it. And it's the same thing with fighting. Grappling is that, like jiu-jitsu is that to fighting. But once you're in there, and I'm talking about jiu-jitsu, sports jiu-jitsu as you know it, or Olympic freestyle wrestling as you know it. But once you're in there, yeah, you have to be able to do that. You can't fight without knowing how to grapple. But it's different to sports grappling. You know, once you're in there with the strikes and the bones are clashing and shit, it's different, you know? So, no, it's absolutely a core part of fighting. Jiu-jitsu, grappling itself is always at the core of fighting, for sure. Even in boxing, when you watch boxing, guys grapple. When they clinch, that's grappling. They start moving each other, it's grappling. So, grappling in and of itself will always be a part of it. Joseph says, I love when fighters get mad when they get held down. Laugh out loud. I agree with you, Joseph. I agree with you. Like, there's some sort of interview happening between Israel and Marvin Vittori. Yeah, I find it interesting when so both of them are laughing. I can't hear what's being said between them. Yeah. Joseph says, I mean, if someone on the street held you down for most of that time, do you think you won that fight? Nah. Kawhi Leonard says, do I ever get in a street fight? No, I didn't get into street fights, man. I'm a civilized person. I don't tend to get into street fights. Yeah, Joseph, I 100% agree with you. If someone held you down like that, if you were at the bus stop and somebody grabbed you and held you up against the cage, they held you up against the cage. Marvin Vittori looks so angry at Israel. He's saying some stuff there angrily at Israel. Martovi says, I'd say wrestling is like drawing and BJJ is painting. If you want to explain that, please do. Chili Miners, it's not a street fight though. In a street fight, his mate will just come over and smash his pint off your head. Honestly, street fights is different because you don't just have that. In a street fight, you have a situation where like who you're fighting is also dangerous. You don't know who you're fighting. A guy could just be a fucking lunatic and put a schooner glass through your face. That you don't know. Chili Miners, all combat sports, no matter how loose the rule set, are not representative of real fights because of the forced one-on-one nature. Real fights are dumb and dangerous. I agree with you, Chili Miners. Yeah, real fight, like a real fight is a different situation. Interesting. Vittori looks so animated. I like he's a funny guy. He's a funny guy. He's Vittori. And Israel's funny too, but I don't think Israel means to be funny. But I don't think Vittori means to be funny. They're both funny guys, and I think like they're actually really good for each other. I can't hear what they're saying. I'm just watching them, but I think they suit well. You know, they suit each other well. They're both like they're just funny. Like watching them both together. Kamaru said in an interview that wrestling is like a bear and BJJ is like a snake. Do you agree, Fab? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. You know what I mean? It just depends who you grapple to. You know, there's different guys that grapple different. You know, it's grappling at the end of the day. Whether you have, I think, then the rule set depends on that. It's grappling like if you say we're going to grapple, but you can't be on your back and there's no submissions, then you're wrestling. And if you throw submissions in there, you're doing BJJ or you're doing catch wrestling. And then you can have submissions in there with a pin. That's catch wrestling. You know, so it's all grappling to me. C Law says, who's the best European fighter of all time? Bisping or Remy Bojangles? The best European fighter of all time, the most successful one would have to be Conor by a fair stretch, I'd imagine. Joseph, imagine you start a fight and it's Ryan Hall. Yeah, see, there you go. Kawhi says, street fights are not going to be fair. The guy could be holding a knife and then you're done. Way too dangerous and not worth it. Agreed, sir. Joseph says, I hope for Victoria's sake that he can take Izzy down. Yeah, you'd want to fucking hope so. Mark Whelan says, if that was to happen, Ben Hall would take any of us down without much effort. Kenahuna says, Khabib is not European. No, he is. He's from the Caucasus. You're right. But still, like Connor would have to have the other thing that he's got 2 belts. I don't know. Yeah. Fedor, fucking Khabib. There's a bunch of them there, eh? I think there's a lot of good European fighters. Peter Yan, but I think like the most successful one would have to be Connor or Khabib. In my opinion, Khabib's a better fighter. And he showed that. But yeah, absolutely. Coach, if you were in waiting to get food at a kebab shop in a foreign country at 2 a.m. and a local drunk guy elbows you from the side twice into your shoulder because your order is taking too long, would you react? Honestly, I probably wouldn't be at a kebab stand in a foreign country at 2 a.m. to begin with. Um, yeah, I'd react, but I don't have to react by breaking his fucking head. I can react by doing whatever, you know what I mean? But I usually read the situation better, you know. I wouldn't go somewhere where I can see that there's going to be like an antisocial kind of behavior because it's just going to end bad for somebody, you know. Ryan Hall, I mean, sorry, yes. CeeLo, did you see Izzy pay homage to Remy Bayansky from his K1 days? Remy Bayansky's a fantastic fighter, absolutely fantastic. No, I didn't see it. I don't watch like the interactions with fighters and that. I just saw them there, just have a them. I could just see them arguing amongst each other. That's what was funny. Kawhi says exactly. You can react, but you shouldn't go 0 to 100. Yeah, no, that's 100%. Laugh out loud at the non-answer, but don't let your ego get to you, especially in a foreign country. Um, no, but that's what I mean. It's like not so much a non-answer. I just like you can react. You just don't have to. You know, if somebody elbows me, I might react by just saying to the guy, "Hey, man, I'm standing here," or whatever. But I don't have to fucking take off on the dude right there and then. But like I said, I probably wouldn't put myself in that position to begin with. And I think that's when we talk about self defense. A lot of the times, honestly, with self defense, it's like, what are the decisions that you are making? Like that you're putting yourself in a like certain position, you know, like whenever we've taught like those self defense stuff or whatever, women's self defense and like catching, you know, catch an earlier train so you're not walking home alone at night or whatever, da da da, making sure you're with a group of people, that kind of thing. I think that's where the first line of self defense is, you know, like there's a lot of things you can do to mitigate what dangers you're going to put on yourself. Um, Coach, if by some miracle, would you take Joe Rogan in a BJJ match? I doubt it. I doubt it. I'm not, I wouldn't back myself ever like to be some sort of amazing grappler. So I wouldn't ever really back myself to beat anyone like that. Frank Smith says, true, if it was in Dublin, seemed safe enough at the time after a normal night out. I didn't physically react, just moved away. Yeah, if it's like at a normal situation, like yeah, I would just be like, whatever, dude. I don't really give a fuck. Like somebody bumping me is not gonna destroy my manhood. You know what I mean? I'll react if somebody comes to my house. Like if somebody came to my house and attacked me in my house, then they get the meat cleaver. But that's a different story. Uh, Juice, my ego got me stabbed, and now I'm the most non-confrontational guy in the world. There you go, man. That'll fix it for you, man. Mark Whelan. When I was younger, if I felt threatened, I'd retaliate. But now, as an older man, I've learned to control my anger and walk away if possible. Good, Mark Whelan. You will live to an older age. Kawhi says, if you never confront a problem, you will never solve it. Yeah, but you don't need to solve the thing about you punching some dude in the fucking head at a kebab stand because he bumped into you. Joseph, hope you're doing all right, brother. Joseph Fabricio the Butcher is there. There it is. That's my name, man. I'll be back for the start of this fight, boys. I'll be back. Kenahuna says leaving is confronting the problem. I agree with you, Kenahuna. Juice, cheers at Joseph. You just never know who is a nutcase. 100%. C Law says, Fab, when and how you and the half going to link up again? Well, when and how you and the Halfcast podcast are going to link up again? I don't know. I'm not really doing like a lot of things. Like I'm very, 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 very busy right now. So it's a little bit hard for me to do like guests and organize that and everything. It's pretty hard. Like it's just enough. Like I can do the cards that I can do, I'll do them, you know. But other than that, it's very, very hard at the moment to be doing. It's hard because I have to organize not my schedule, but somebody else's schedule for me to fit in to do that. And right now, I just haven't got time to do that. I can work. I can kind of deal with my own time. You know that's the only thing I can do. Mark Whelan, that's not true most times. If you walk away and people can settle down, it may end up a non-issue. But if you confront it head on, you have no choice but to fight. Yeah, 1000% agree with you, Mark. Oliver Ekman, Joseph, good point. Yeah, and then dude, like you fight, and that's what you want to do, and you want to confront the problem, then like that in that way, like by kicking off, then do so. But you know, you're going to be getting into a lot of fucking fights, man. So, CeeLaw says, Grange TV, love Fab. Thank you, sir. Likewise, and the feelings are mutual. Joseph says, Fabricio the surfer. I call myself a surfer where I live, my friend. I am a kook is the right term for someone like me as far as surfing is concerned. Kenahuna says, how do you feel about Volk versus Ortega? Tough is done filming and Volk has beaten Max and Max has beat Ortega. Thoughts? I spoke about it earlier. I think that I spoke about it earlier in the podcast about my thoughts on Alex versus Brian, and I just see that, like I said, I think Alex has been in grappling for a long time since he's a young kid. I remember him with a bowl haircut at the wrestling tournaments and that. Having said that, I think that Ortega's jiu-jitsu is on another level in the open mat as far as jiu-jitsu is concerned. I don't think, and Alex is a very smart guy. He's not going to go and hit the deck with Ortega and go jiu-jitsu for jiu-jitsu with him in the open mat. Up against the cage in different situations, I think Alex can do some stuff there for sure. Stand-up wise, though, I think Alex is very smart and very good. Ortega's got very good boxing fundamentals. It's not just he's got a new coach now. He's always had good boxing. You know, he's always had a good boxing coach, and now he's got a new one, and that's great. But he's got good fundamentals in boxing. Then he understands boxing and range and rhythm and a whole bunch of stuff like that. But Alex is very good at disrupting your rhythm. He hits very hard himself. He's got a vast array of strikes, and he knows how to disrupt your rhythm. He knows how to throw leg kicks into combinations. He knows how to throw like a switch to southpaw, throw a straight left, and throw a load kick, and then go back to orthodox, and not let you get that timing, and not let you get that kind of the feel for what he's doing. And he's also a very awkward build. You know how you have guys that are real tall and that it's hard to find people like them. It's hard to find people like Alex who like are built like a little fire hydrant. So I don't know. I think that Alex wins that fight. While Harris is in the southpaw stance, Tybura in the orthodox. Both guys moving around. I like how light Walt Harris is on his feet when he's built like a fucking bear. Throws a right high kick, does Walt Harris. Throws a right to the body. Oh, throws that left high kick, does Walt Harris. Oh, heavy leather. Left punch lands. Throws a combination. Oh, Tybura takes a right hand to the side of the head. Big knees by Walt. Big knees. He's coming, throwing big combinations. But Tybura's got a cement fucking head. Walt Harris throws a huge left hand and Tybura ducks under it. But he's landing some of these shots. Is Walt Harris. Is he going to have the gas tank to keep going like this? Man, Tybura can take a shot, man. There's rocked though. He's very, very rocked. And Walt Harris throwing knees down the middle. And Tybura looks for a takedown himself. He was rocked, dude. He was fucking rocked. Good defense on the bicep there by Walt Harris so that he doesn't have Tybura can't link his hands. Okay. Joseph says, come on, chat. Let's get the ideas rolling. I don't know. Fighting doesn't really solve much. If anything, it'd literally make the issue 100% worse. Martovi, no, you're right. 100% doesn't. There's situations where you have to fight. Like I said, if someone comes to your house, 3 o'clock in the morning, breaking your house, your life's in danger, your kid's in danger, yeah, you have to fight. And there you're going to have to break him. And there it's going to solve something because at least you're safe. But no, generally, it's not the best thing to do. Oh, big left kick landed by Walt, but then Tybura gets a big takedown. Walt does have the underhook here, but Tybura's doing a good job of sitting back on that underhook. So he's killing Walt Harris's underhook. Walt has to kind of bump his hips to get a deeper underhook. Otherwise, Tybura can hold that underhook down, and he's basically killing that underhook. And he's looking for a crucifix. Is Tybura there? He was able to use the underhook. Walt, but Tybura goes straight away, looks for his back. He's very, very good positioning here because he's got one underhook and then he's got the half Nelson. He's got one leg hook in and he's looking for the half Nelson here. So it's a very, very good control position. So whichever side Walt rolls to, Tybura keeps the back. And it's very hard to roll anyways when you're caught in this position. Big shots are starting to be landed by Tybura on Walt. This is a very uncomfortable position for Walt. Now he's got that wrist control there. Does Tybura, and he's able to land the next hook. So he's taken the back, and he's going to try and flatten Walt out here, I believe. He can do that using a half Nelson if he can't get to the wrists. He's gone straight away for the crossface. Good wrist control. He's got both hooks in. He's starting to land good shots on Walt's head, man. That is not pleasant, man, to be hit like this by a monster of a man like Tybura. Tybura could go looking for this half Nelson on the other side to flatten him out. He's got a minute to go. Walt's not doing a lot to get out of there. He's flattened out. He's not going to get out of this. His shots are being landed, and that's the bell, ladies and gentlemen. That is the heavyweight finish. What a good job by Tybura. Wow. He flattened him out. And he came back, he took some big shots, man. Good grappling by Tybura. I'm really impressed. Oliver Ekman says, a good time with Coach Fabricio Hite. That is a good name, man. Mark Whelan says, Alex has surpassed what I thought he would accomplish. That just shows you can never judge someone 100%. Man, he's very, very good, man. He's very good. There's a lot of good fighters, man, kind of come out of Australia, man. Ahmed says, Alexander Volkanovski is the best pound-for-pound fighter in my honest and humble opinion, says Ahmed. That's interesting. He's up there. Oh, you know what? He's up there. I'll give him that. Let me see. Sir Marco Boy says, hey, beautiful Fab. Other than Maya, who do you think is the best pure BJJ game in the current UFC roster? Love from Italy. Like pure BJJ, I would say Rodolfo Vieira as well. You're talking about pure BJJ, not their applicability, their ability to apply it necessarily, but Rodolfo Vieira would be the most decorated one in the UFC you're talking about. Yeah, he'd definitely be up there. Let me see. I'm just going back. C-Law says Volkan vs. Oliveira would be a mega fight and Alex deserves a payday. Yes, on all counts. Although that's the thing, see, at lightweight, it's different because at featherweight, I think Alex is very hard to beat because he is a bigger, stronger guy than just about any featherweight on the fucking planet that ever lived, you know. But at lightweight, whilst he's still strong and he's still built like a brick, he loses some of that mechanical advantage. Tybura's hurt bad. Yes, sir. Has anyone seen the first episode of The Return of the Ultimate Fighter? I have not. Chili Miner says his instincts when rocked are 10 out of 10. He closed that distance fast. Man, impressive. He was very, very impressive. Oliver Ekman says, if someone breaks into my house and fighting, that's a, and I'm not bagging you, I'm saying, but that, sir, is an American's response. And I can tell because of the gun. Mark Whelan, I'd rather you call a fight and watch me, and I'd rather you call a fight and me watch it later on than just watching it, as I got more insight from your call. Thank you, Fab. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Watch it and then just watch it with the podcast on. I think that NFL training helps with endurance massively. Who played in the NFL that out of these guys? I'm not sure. Martovi can't really defend. I don't. Or did you mean NRL? Are you talking about? Sorry, because I'm only asking if you mean NRL from Volkanovski or like the rugby league training, or do you mean because Walt Harris was a basketball player. He wasn't an NFL player. Okay. John Jones gets no respect. Still the most complete martial artist of all time, Fab. Ooh, I don't know if he's the most complete martial artist of all time. I think John Jones gets no respect because he's been done fucking gearing a whole bunch of times. But one of the most complete martial artists, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know that he is. Cejudo is an incredibly well-rounded martial artist. Demetrius Johnson, incredibly well-rounded. I don't know. I don't know that John Jones is the most. Certainly one of the most. Hanoi Tripper says, do you think Tybura is like Frank Mir of the 2020s? Nah, Frank Mir was much more athletic and dynamic. That doesn't mean that he was better, but he was just a different, very, very athletic, very, very physically strong guy. Ken Ahuna, that's the same argument you had about Khabib going to welterweight. So by going down many weight classes from your walking weight, it gives you a definite advantage. Is that why Aldo Barboza dropped? No, I think in particular when we're talking, I think what you're talking about is me with Khabib and thing. In particular, both those guys are guys that, like both Volkanovski and Khabib, they're guys that are bigger, stronger guys than other people in that division. They're different in that Khabib will outmuscle, grapple you, out grapple you, out technique you, everything, but he'll, and it'll be harder for him to do that to welterweights. At lightweight, Alex loses a lot, like in size, in range, in length, in everything against the bigger lightweights. You know what I mean? If you see him standing next to, Ortega, he's already like giving up a lot of range. At lightweight, the just mechanical advantage goes away even more. It's not like he's like say for example, use Conor McGregor for instance. Conor McGregor had that advantage at featherweight, but at lightweight, he's still well within that lightweight size. You know what I mean? He hasn't really lost that mechanical advantage that he would have had at featherweight. Dan Hooker was a guy that at featherweight was long and stringy and everything, and he had a lot of advantage at featherweight. Don't know how the fuck he fought at featherweight, to be honest with you. But at lightweight, he hasn't lost any of that because he's actually filled his frame in. Alex is a fucking little monster at Volkanovski. You're not going to be stronger than him. You will have some range on him, but you're not going to be stronger than him. At lightweight, it gets a little bit different. You get some big guys in there like Poirier and that Alex won't enjoy possibly the strength advantage either, I'd say it'd still be stronger, but you get some big, big guys there. I strongly recommend John Jones vs. Shogun or Rampage. So to watch those fights, yeah, no way, Hanoi. Mir was a beast on the ground, had better boxing too. The motorcycle accident hindered his career a lot. I agree. Um, Joseph Fabricio, the biracial teacher, Ide. All right, coach, that's the last one promised. Mark Whelan says, yeah, Alex was an NRL player for a while, if I remember correctly. Alex didn't play in the NRL, so NRL is a National Rugby League organization. He played like what would be like a kind of like a third division. Like first grade is NRL, second grade would be like New South Wales Cup or whatever the name is called, and then below that you have like a country first grade competition, or like a group 6 competition, group 23, group whatever, and he played in the group 20 whatever it is division, which is a decent level. It's like playing semi-professional, but you're kind of like 1 to 2 to 3 tiers below the NRL. um okay, Kawhi says, do you think Badahari could have done well in May if he started for a while? But I think he's very much a kickboxer, very 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 much a kickboxer. And some people just are like that. CeeLaw says Mighty Mouse met his kryptonite in Cejudo. Jones hasn't faced that yet. Um, no, but Jones has been done doing steroids a whole bunch of fucking times, or performance enhancing drugs. Um, so yeah, that still doesn't take away from what um Demetrius Johnson did, as a champion. Here's €2 for TRT. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it, man. You're a champion. Thank you so much for the support, my friend. Cejudo was the best combat sport athlete when he won flyweight, from his own words. Man, he'd be right up there. He'd be right up there. He won the gold medal. He won the gold medal at the Olympics in wrestling, which is stupid, ridiculously hard. He he won he won a couple of belts in the UFC, which is stupidly hard, and he's a very good boxer. If I'm not mistaken, I think he even competed in the Golden Gloves. He may have won Golden Gloves. Um, Oliver Ekman says, "Good on you, Corey." Yes, sir. Manston says, "Mighty Mouse lost slightly against Triple C." Yeah, he did. He he beat him once and lost once. So it was Demetrius Johnson is a fucking monster. A little guy. Um, Mark Whelan. Okay, thank you, Fab, for explaining that. No, you're welcome, sir. Yeah, no, not taking anything away from Alex as well. Like, I think as well, he was probably a good rugby league player, but I think there wasn't really a position for him. Like for him to have been a really good, say, hooker in rugby league, because that's his build. He would have had to specialize in that position from very early on, and they had him playing at prop, and he was very big. But a guy that size would have to play hooker. You're not really going to play first grade rugby league at that size. Like I know he weighed a lot more, whatever it was, but it's not the same. Like you have natural guys are walking around 105, 106, 110 kilos that are playing on the wing in the NRL. The next fight's a main event, and Sakai's walking out now. Can attempted to go for the US Olympic team for boxing at some point. Did he really? Because I didn't know that. I know that he won a whole bunch of amateur fights in Golden Gloves, which is no mean feat. But man, make the US Olympic. I'd be fucking impressed if someone won a gold medal at the Olympics and made the US Olympic boxing team as well. That's impressive. Kanahuna says, "How do you feel about down knees, Fab? Watching DJ gets sorry, mate. Watching DJ get smashed brought a tear to my eye. Yeah, I don't like seeing DJ lose, but I'm a fan of the downed knees for sure. I think it should be introduced into the school system. Emmanuel Vijares says, "What's next? Ponzinibbio? What? Yeah, I'd like to. I don't know, but I'd like to see it. Yeah, I'd like to whoever really, But that was a really tough fight for people who practice boxing and striking from a young age who turn pro. Isn't it inevitable to get brain damage? More or less, I would say yes. Yes. Manston Hisk says, "How size? What do you mean by that? Like how small is Demetrius? Little, like a real little guy. Like I met him one of the fights, I think in Kansas City. I think when Rob fought Jacare, and he was there, I think with someone, and I looked over at breakfast, and he was fucking like a little tiny guy. Henry Cejudo is the most annoying person. He's 1,000 miles an hour, and he does not need a partner, as he loves himself more than anyone could." That's from Mark Whelan. Kenahuna Cejudo talks about boxing Olympic team on JRE podcast. Man, I don't think his boxing as an amateur though was actually ever there. Like I said, I think he could have said that, but I think from my understanding, he won Golden Gloves, but I don't think he went like beyond that. Like that's a different animal itself. Jairzinho is about to fight. Fab is Mighty Mouse's long lost HGH brother. Thank you, sir, I suppose. Thank you. Yeah. No, I don't know. Like he might have said he wanted to go to he did win Golden Gloves in his state. But yeah. If you could turn pro in any sport, which would you choose? Honestly, I would have liked to have been like if you're saying that basketball would be the one to turn pro. But gold medal in Olympic wrestling would be super cool as well. No one's winning yet, 6'9". No one's winning. No one's started the fight yet. Jairzinho's walking out. It keeps pausing whenever I want to watch, whenever it's getting to the exciting part. And this fight, I think, is going to be fireworks as well. 6'9" says, "I'm drunk and I got 500 on Sakai." Well, Sakai's a good bet, but I think Jairzinho is going to win. I think he hits just a little too hard, a little too tidy, but they're both huge. Hanoi Tripper says, "The guy who beat Izzy is doing MMA now. Do you think he'll get an early title shot if UFC sign him?" Alex Pereira, if he gets signed by the UFC. Yeah, hard one, dude. Because the thing is now, you got to understand, like Israel's got his timing for MMA striking. It's down pat. He's got it pretty good. You know what I mean? That's guys like he and Rob have their striking for MMA down really well. They know how to time and work all of that. Whereas Alex doesn't have the same level of experience in striking in MMA as they do. And they're both good strikers, of course. I think Alex Pereira is a better striker than both of them, but MMA has a different timing and a different experience you have to have. Um, I wouldn't like to see him get a early title shot. I'd like to see him have 4 or 5 fights, 3 fights, against the right type of people, and then it'll be an interesting fight. Thanks. Okay. So Sank says, "Fab, what do you do if you see Rozenstruik walking toward you on the sidewalk?" Nothing. I have nothing to fear. I've never said anything bad or done anything bad towards him. But I would look at that dude in awe, man, because he'd be a fucking monster. C-Law, Fab, do you think Devin Haney or Demetrius Andrade can touch Canelo over 12 rounds? They can. I don't think they beat him. Kenahuna says, "Who's next for Francis? Lewis, Rosen, Stipe?" Well, he's beat them all, so I don't know. Kawhi Leonard says, "I don't think you will see that 500 back." 6'9" says, "I don't think Rozenstruik is all that really. I'm confident." Now he is all that, but Sakai is all that too. He's a good fighter, Sakai. Hanoi Tripper says, "Me was way better than Tybura. Reminded me of him in his way to find victory against way bigger dudes." Yeah. Mir is a big guy, but dude. He's a fucking big dude. Tybura was very impressive the way that he came back from getting hit like that. Sakai is a big guy, man. Jab, cross, hook, uppercut. I've just found this out from this guy. Thank you so much, my friend. Jab, cross, hook, uppercut. Love your effort, Fab. Thank you very much. I know this guy. He's actually a very, very good wrestling friend of mine. I just found out. So he's a second. This fellow here, jab, cross, hook, uppercut. I'm going to respect his right to anonymity, but he's actually interesting story. Second generation judoka, wrestled his at Olympic trials as well. Played gridiron for you Americans. Lewis beat Francis Fab. One second, people. Just 1 second. My thing is not working here. Let me just get this right. Okay, I'm back. Lewis beat Francis Fab. No, yes, you're right. He did. He 100% did. I was just reading the other names, and Stipe beat him as well. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I suppose Lewis. Then give him Lewis. I think Lewis. I'm impressed with Derek Lewis, and I hope. Oh, we're off, people. We're off. Rozenstruik taking up the center of the octagon. Sakai opening up with a front kick. Sakai in the southpaw stance, and Rozenstruik in the orthodox stance. Now back to orthodox from Sakai. Inside leg kick landed by Rozenstruik. Very nicely done too. He kind of faked the jab and then landed the inside kick. They're both guys circling, very tentative. A lot of respect for each other's power. 3 minutes, 57 seconds to go in the first round. And Rozenstruik holding the center of the octagon there. Rozenstruik still holding the center of the octagon. Sakai with a heavy leg kick, partially blocked, checked by Rozenstruik. Rozenstruik still unperturbed, moving forward in this first round. Another nice leg kick landed by Sakai, then a left check hook, followed by a right to the body by Rozenstruik. Oh, can you believe my screen froze? Now we're back. Sakai's inching forward in the middle of the octagon now. Both guys in the center of the octagon. Good little feints and movements from both guys. Sakai very light on his feet for such a huge man. Hands straight out from Sakai, using it to measure distance and keep Rozenstruik away from him. But Rozenstruik goes for a right to the body, which was very, very good. I like that. Both jab to the body by Rozenstruik. Nice right kick, but then he caught it. Rozenstruik caught it and threw that right hand over the top. Rozenstruik's moving him forward, moving him back. Man, it's a good job by Rozenstruik what he's doing as well, because Sakai's having to move a lot. And at heavyweight, man, for you to move on the periphery of the octagon like that for a long time is hard. It's not easy. And over 5 rounds will start to wear you down. Rozenstruik still moving forward. Jab again to the body. Oh, whoa, they exchange. Nothing lands flush, but they exchanged. 57 seconds to go. Front kick by Sakai. Rozenstruik goes looking for a low kick. Inside kick landed by Rozenstruik again. Good combination by Rozenstruik. 28 seconds to go. Again, moving forward is Rozenstruik. Sakai on the peripheries, but he's able to get out of the way. Did he land it? He landed it. He called the fight. There was no time left on the clock. You couldn't see it clearly. No, he's definitely wobbled. He landed it right on. Oh, man. He caught him right on. I couldn't even make a proper reaction. I couldn't even look. It was. Let me see this. So he landed it. Boom. Little cheeky hook and then a right hand over the top. And then some good little ground and pound there. He's got dynamite in his hands, does Rozenstruik. So he lands that little cheeky hook there, lands it again, then a right hand to the ear. Sakai falls, and then he lands a hammer fist, a 1-2, and that's a wrap. And the clock was like 0.01 seconds to go. Good ground and pound then landed by Rozenstruik. That right hand behind the ear, look, little cheeky left hook, lands, and another one, boom, right behind the ear. And then he lands a good little hammer fist right on the chin, right on the button. Wow. And there you have it, people. That's how it happens. Grumio, take care, man. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Guys, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you get the notifications. Who won? Rozenstruik. Rozenstruik knocked him out in the first round. Hit him with a nice little right hand. But before that, there was a nice little left hook. So that was really nice. Wow. All right. Well, guys, join us on Tuesday. We will be doing not so much, I think, a review of this. We will be talking about these fights and that, of course, but we will be doing a preview of the big card that's coming up. I'll let you know. I'm going to put it up anyway. So, yeah. So, guys, join us for that. That was pretty crazy, man. What do we do with Rozenstruik now before we go? Because he's lost to some of the upper echelons there, but yeah, man, he's got so much power. What do you do? The Bellator card is on Saturday. On the Saturday. I believe it's at 11 a.m. Sydney time. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate everything. Thank you for the support, guys. Thank you for everyone that supports the channel, whether it's financially or otherwise. I really appreciate it. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you for everything. And I will see you guys during the week. Thank you so much. Take care.